Hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday. We got it's even a weird Risa, but all right, we got a little Twitch thing bouncing around. I don't know why that's there, but fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. What is up, Purple Saurus Rex, Dylan Hunter, Mega Magic Carp? How is everyone doing today? Dogamith, welcome y'all to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Epso Fruitly Lucid, how are y'all doing today? I know. It's a little early stream. Today's a weird day. Normally we stream later, but today I've talked a little bit about my little brother, how he's playing basketball in college. This is his last year, and tonight his team, which is out in Kentucky, is actually playing in Syracuse, which is like an hour or something for me. So I got to go to that. It's gonna be pretty cool because this is his last year playing. So there's gonna be like, I don't know. This is the first time he's ever had a New York game in his like 6 years of playing D1 basketball. So there's going to be like, I think a few hundred people that are going, mostly just to see him. So it's going to be kind of like a home game on the road. So got to go do dinner and do all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a big celebration. So that's why we're streaming early today. But early is still pretty sweet because we got some fun stuff to play today. Sand News Bears, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 5th month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. And I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, it's his last year. And he broke his thumb, which is kind of awkward. It's making it hard for him to play. But I was listening to the podcast just now and heard Seth talking over Richard, but didn't see Seth talking, then realized the stream started. Weird experience. Yeah, that's that does sound weird. I was hoping you'd take a look at this deck. Tell me what you think. Let me see autism. What do we got going on here? Bird Lizard. Ooh. I mean, I like the partner pairing. I honestly have not seen Francisco Foul Marauder. I don't think ever. I don't think I've played against it. So I like to see commanders that I haven't seen before. It's kind of hard to take in a full commander deck because it's 100 singleton cards on the stream, but it looks good to me. Like, it looks fun. I like the unique partner pairing. It looks good. I like it. Anyway, what are we doing today? So today, I don't know what's happening to the scoops for the subs. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I thought it was fixed. Today, it's funny. I feel like last time the sound was wrong, but the scoops was right. This time, the sound is right, but the scoops is wrong. But anyway, today, I wanted to try this deck. So I wasn't sure what to play today, but I was browsing around and I found a couple of pretty cool Pioneer decks I wanted to try. The first one, you probably know, I'm a little bit addicted to a Leyline axe at the moment. When I first saw this deck list, I was like, oh, it's probably just a Hammer Time deck. And it does have a Colossus Hammer, but really, it's not Hammer Time. It's an axe deck. It really is straight up Leyline axe deck that also happens to have one Colossus Hammer that you can tutor up with Kellen. So the idea of this deck is Leyline axe starts on the battlefield for free, equips for 3, but if we have Fervent Champion, we can equip it for 0 because it costs 3 less to equip to it. So we can build us a 2/2 hasty double striker, maybe attacking on turn 1. Plus we get Kellen, which I've never really seen this Kellen seen much play. Thran Power, so all these weird equipment. So I'm excited to try that. The other deck we might try if we get to it is this Turbo Oculus deck that looks interesting. It seems like Abhorrent Oculus has proven itself as arguably a staple across formats. It's a really powerful card, and I will say, I think I missed on this one during spoiler season. When we talked about it during spoiler season, I was kind of like, exiling 6 cards, that's a lot. But it turns out there's a lot of ways to cheat this into play. But this is one I haven't seen before, which is, this is a Neoform Oculus deck. Normally when I think Neoform, I think like grabbing a huge, whatever, Grizzlebrand or something off of Allosaurus Rider, like the Grizzlebrand combos. This one though, we're sacking Augurs of Bolus and Thundertrap Traders to get Oculus, and then we can blink it to protect it, or Timer Stand to protect it. So that deck looked pretty sweet too. So you didn't see the card? Yeah, did not see. Well, I knew it was powerful. I knew that Oculus was powerful. My concern was, could we get it on the battlefield? And I kept getting stuck, and I think it's another lesson that while comparing new cards to old cards is, in a lot of ways, the best you can do during spoiler season, right? You like, see a new card and you compare it to something similar from the past, but that doesn't always work. Because when I first saw Oculus, my brain went to Scabruinator, this also very big 3-mana flyer that you have to exile 3 creatures from your graveyard. And this was like a really hyped card. Same mana cost even. Big flyer, like very comparable. And this was really hyped when it was spoiled. And then it saw 0 play ever anywhere because exiling the creatures from the graveyard was too much of a cost. So I was worried that we're going to do the same thing, that we're going to get super hyped for Oculus, and then after we played with it, be like, okay, it's actually like too much effort to get all the cards in the graveyard. But it turns out that it's enough of an upgrade where you're able to manifest red each turn, plus 6 cards in the graveyard is better than 3 creatures in the graveyard. It's easier to achieve, and Ruinator, honestly, not good enough to Neoform out. But Oculus, because you're able to generate value with this Manifest Red continually, it's actually kind of worth it to unearth it or Neoform it. When doing that with Ruinator, it's just a 6/5. It's big, but it doesn't do anything special. It is a cool card for sure. Hey, thank you for the bits, by the way, Kisox. Isn't it Slip Out the Back just better than Tyver Stand? Usually. It depends on how much mana you have. Like, Slip Out the Back is better protection, although in Pioneer, there's not really anyone playing Farewell, I don't think. So I'm not sure how much you get punished for that is going to make phasing out better than Hexproof and Indestructible. The big upside is you can just dump your mana into it. Like, if we got nothing going on, we can just Tyver Stand, dump our mana into it, hit you for a bunch of damage. So those are the decks we're gonna mess around with today. Hey, what's up, Insectomungus? How are you? Good to see you. I found that I've been annoyed by Magic Arena Client lately. To me, it's the problem, though, because I get salty over people's decks, and then I go and swap my Orzhov Land Destruction deck to intentionally make people miserable, and I end up making myself bitter. Meanwhile, in EDH, I'm not nearly as salty or bitter. Should I drop Arena? I don't know what you think, MTG Goldfish. When we play games, we do it to have fun, right? Like, I mean, I guess it's probably good for your brain. It keeps you thinking. There's other upsides. But really, why do we play a game? We play a game because we're having fun. If my only experience or my primary experience with a game is rather than having fun, I'm becoming salty and bitter, I think it would probably be wise to, I don't know if I'd drop it forever, but I'd probably take a break at least. Maybe you come back in a week or a month and give it a shot and see if the experience is different. But if you're not having fun playing a game and instead you're getting bitter and salty and like not having a good time, why play the game? There's like so many games out there. I love Magic. Magic is my favorite game, but you have so many other options. So if you're just not having fun, like, play something else. Yeah, seriously, like that's what I would do. As much as I love Magic and want everyone to love Magic, if you're not enjoying it, there's so many other options. Currently on extended vacation from work because I have COVID, so I'm just chilling here trying to rest the best I can. Oh, Terry, well, get better, hopefully. I'm sure. Man, I haven't had COVID in a minute. I've had it 2 or 3 times since everything started. But yeah, it's never fun, never enjoyable. Oh, also, okay, we gotta do our reminders real quick, and we're gonna play some Magic. We also have a lot to talk about today. We got some interesting topics, including one that I gotta ask you about right away. I gotta ask you about this because I'm very curious. Especially after our podcast yesterday, I'm very curious what y'all think of this. I need the community's opinion. So, reminders real quick. Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one of the future. Normal YouTube. A good mix. We got some modern coming out. We got some standard coming out. Of course, spoiler season kicking off a week from today, which means early stream next week for spoilers. Ether Drift coming out. Also, I found out today, we actually got a spoiler. We got a spoiler for Ether Drift. So there will be an exclusive Goldfish spoiler for this spoiler season. So that'll be coming up in the future once we get to spoiler season. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtdgoldfish. If you get a free Goldfish sticker, just let everybody know in your order notes and they'll hook you up. Hey, Seth, I qualified for my first RC this weekend. Congratulations, It Got Godzilla. You and the Goldfish were the big reason why I got into standards, so thank you for everything. Well, congratulations. What are you playing? What are you playing, I'm curious. What do you bring into the tournament? Rage queuing is a hard habit to drop, but hilariously I've been told in advance multiple times in my Destiny 2 clan members, a ton of times, so maybe I should take my own advice. Yeah, I could see that. So here's the question I got for you, chat. You might have seen this. We talked about it on the podcast. We did a short about it. This is some tournament drama in one of the sneaky upsides of tournament Magic coming back. Dimir Mill combo. Oh, yes. Oh, that's awesome. Not only qualifying for the RC or playing in the RC, but doing it with some spice. I like it. Good luck. Good luck. You have to report back. I'm curious how you do. Report back next stream. Congratulations. So here is the situation. And I got to see what you would do. I want to know your personal take on this. So I'm going to give you the TLDR. You can read this entire thing. It's on Twitter and Reddit and all these places. But here is the actual situation. Here's the TLDR of the situation. So you're in a tournament. You're going to game 3. The match is really close. One player takes and at the end of their turn casts a hopeless nightmare and then quickly goes, all right, I'm going to go to your upkeep and I'm going to blink it with scroll shift. And it turns out, in response to the scroll shift, the other player casts a card draw spell. And it turns out that the first player forgot to pay for their hopeless nightmare during their turn, or didn't pay for the hopeless nightmare during their turn, which throws everything off. They end up 1 mana short, or should be 1 mana short of winning the game, because they didn't actually tap that land. So what happens is, a judge comes, and a judge says, because cards have been drawn, that it's too late to rewind the game and make the player tap the land. So because of this extra mana, they have exactly enough mana to cast another scroll shift and win the game, which really, if the game was played properly, they'd be 1 mana short, would have lost on the backswing. And the question is, what do you do in that situation? Because what you could do is you could concede, or you could tap the land, even though the judge said you didn't have to, or you could take the win. Do you take the free mana is the question. And I find this question very interesting because it's not as unanimous as I would have thought. For me, it's pretty obvious that but I'm also the kind of player who if my opponent is like, if we're playing a good game on Moto and my opponent's going to time out, I will sometimes concede to them. If they're like playing super slow and doing stuff like that, that's different. But if my opponent's just like trying to play the game and happens to be running out of time and is clearly going to win, I would just scoop to them some percentage of the time. So I'm definitely on team scoop or team tap the land. But not everyone agrees. I think it's an interesting moral question. Ario SW for the 29th month. What's up? Hope your New Year's been terrific. Loved all your videos so far this year. Well, Ario, I appreciate the kind words. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. The other interesting question is, what do we do about, and I don't know how to fix this. I think, so here's the reason I find this situation tough, is Magic's weird, right? Because for Magic, if you're gonna cheat, it needs to be intentional. You can't accidentally cheat in Magic. Those are the rules of Magic, right? So if you forget to tap a land, you're not cheating. If you just honestly forgot, you made a mistake, and you might get a warning or something, or the judge might rewind it. Like there are potentially penalties for accidents, but you're not cheating. The thing is, because that's the standard in Magic, which I don't know how else you could really do it and have a different standard, but because that's the standard, it does potentially allow people to get away with things. We saw this most notably with Alex Bertoncini, who the way Bertoncini would cheat would be these little things, right? It would be drawing an extra card off the brainstorm, or making an extra land drop here. These little tiny things, which if you see any one of them, it's impossible to be like, okay, you're cheating, because how do you know if the person made a mistake? But because that's the standard, someone lacking in ethics can take advantage of that. And we saw Bertoncini do it for years until it finally added up to him getting caught. So I feel like Magic, there's like this social contract, right? Like, yes, there's the rules that are way up here where you really need to obviously be caught cheating for it to be considered cheating by the rules, because the standard has to be incredibly high. But we also have this social contract with each other where we kind of like need to assume that we're going to play ethically as well as we can, because if you don't do that, you can really push those rules and rules lawyer your way to a lot of victories by essentially doing things that are cheating, but things that your opponent can't call you out as for cheating because they can't know your intentions. So it's a problem that I don't know how to actually solve, but I think it is a problem that we might see even more now that Paper Magic's on the upswing. But I thought it was a very interesting situation. Yeah, if you cheat intentionally, okay, just so it's very clear to everyone, if you did intentionally not tap your land and do that same situation, 1,000,000% cheating. 1,000,000% cheating. You should get DQ'd. You should get suspended. Whatever. No doubt about it. You need to please yourself. And if others fail to please you and don't pursue fair play, it's bad manners. Yeah, I think I would agree with that, Garrick. Anyway, what are we starting out with deck-wise? We can talk about the rest of the stuff as we go along. So we're going to try this Leyline Axe deck. What does this deck want to do? The deck wants to play a free Leyline Axe. It wants to play a Fervent Champion. It wants to load it up with Thran Power Suits and Leyline Axes and beat the opponent down. We also have some other resilient threats. Dino Vanguard can get indestructible. Apostle of Purifying Light, good against Rakdos because it dodges black with protection. We get Sheltered by Ghosts, and then the card that kind of ties everything together. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but the card is Kellen the Fableted. One of the Kellens that I have not seen play, period. Like, it just does not see any play, but it's kind of perfect for this deck. It can tutor out an Aura or equipment for 2 mana, so we can get our Leyline Axe and get Sheltered by Ghosts. It can get our 1 Colossus Hammer, our 1 Shadow Sphere, our Thran Power Suit, and then it also becomes a decent creature on the battlefield. So let's see if Leyline Axe is a new Colossus Hammer. I'm starting to feel like it might be. I've really warmed up to Leyline Axe. Leyline Axe is a card that at first I was a little bit like skeptical of, but then the more I play it, the more I become just addicted to it. Like, the real issue is the situation as the ruling a judge made. It should have either been tap the land or give a game loss in a situation where people forget to remove sideboards. So, Palau, the thing that's challenging there is, I believe according to the rules, the judge made the right call, which doesn't seem right to me that would be what the rules are. But I believe that if you go to like the judge's rule book or whatever, according to what the rule book says, if new information had been presented, I think that's essentially the issue, is the player casting the card draw spell that was it was a questing druid, so it impulse drew 2 cards that everyone could see. And according to the rules, if there's unknown information that has been presented, it's too late to rewind because you can't make people unsee those cards that were revealed, essentially. So I think the judge, at least on that end, actually ruled the way the rulebook says. I don't think that's how the rulebook should be, or I don't know the best way to do it, because it seems intuitively wrong. Because it just, as a Magic player, if I was playing with my friends or we were playing on Commander Clash or whatever, the answer is super easy, right? It's just tap the land. Like, it's so simple. Like, sure, it's been a couple of seconds. People did a couple of things. Just tap the land. Just tap the land. It's a very easy, simple solution, but not technically according to the rule book. The game loss thing, I don't really know how that works exactly. Like, could you just give a game loss there? If you could, that would probably be a good solution, because I think the current setup just seems very abusable. Like, if you can forget to tap a land, and then the judge call is going to be, you just get the extra mana, that seems to create a perverse incentive, right? It creates the incentive for you to try to get away with not tapping your lands, because the punishment's 0 if you get caught, and if you get away with it, you get an extra mana, which can change the outcome of the game. Now, let's get down this Adonto Vanguard. Get in at ya. Yeah, Kellen does see a bit of commander play. People have played as the commander, but it has not seen really any 60 card play, at least that I have seen. So how was everyone's weekend? Everyone do anything interesting this week? You should do a video with a Magic judge judging for the win. What would you like to see in a video? Oh, on the recent situation? Yeah, it could be interesting. I don't know. I'd have to look around and find the right judge. I don't know what the response was, because I feel like a lot of people are not happy about the judging. So I wouldn't want to set the judge up, especially if it's a judge that's not even involved with the situation at all, just to get like trashed in the comments. But it would be interesting to get a judge's perspective. Finally put my Xmas decorations into boxes. Yeah. Oh, my mother was horrible about that. I remember it would drive me insane that, like, oh, Christmas stuff's up and it's like February. I'm like, come on. That was so a month ago. What are we getting with this Kellen? That is the real question. So opponent's got a Blood Tithe Harvester. Leyline Axe is expensive but good. I probably just take a Power Suit. Let's take the Power Suit. Play the land on white. And I think we just got to portable hold this Blood Tithe Harvest. I wish we had our pro black creature. That'd be nice. Get in at ya. I caught COVID during Saturday, so I've kind of quarantined myself in my room. How are you feeling it, Tara? Are you getting better yet? One time I was being a flood judge at a competitive REL event, and my LGS round 3 calls a judge, explains he has written the wrong card on the deck list, asks to get his punishment for this now. It was down a game, ended up getting DQ'd from the tournament. Oh, that was probably the right call. It's a little suspicious. Oh God. Oh my God. Wait, do we win? Is this game? Oh wow. Oh, what a draw. Only a one of. One Sigarda's Aid, one Colossus Hammer. Well, let's go to combat and attack. Opponent. Would you like to die? The one of... Oh, opponent's not even going to block. All right. How about a Thran Power Suit that our opponent knows about? Just going to stick that on the Fervent Champion real quick. And then... Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da. That's hammer time, right? Opponent, down to dead. Take it out. Take it out, Rakdos. I got a question. Because I love to brew decks and love Magic. What helps when you experience bad moods after winning and stomping the table? For example, with a Zuri or Zada. Since then, I'm too afraid to go for powerful plays, avoid Voltron, and funny cards and play styles just because the other ones might not like that. Is that a playgroup issue, or is that on me? That is a great question, Lod. I would say when that happens, and I think this is partly a budget thing, because I think the ideal solution there is I think it is kind of on you. I guess you have two options, right? So one is, yeah, hey, what's up, Ricker? How are you? So one is, do we just run this back? We might just run it. I think we're just going to run it back. We're just going to run it back. So one option is you try to find another, you try to find another play group that just wants to play at a higher power level. That would be a possibility. I think, assuming you got a play group that you want to keep playing with, when that happens, you build Zada and it just face rolls the table. I'd probably play it a couple of times, and if it becomes something where it's unfun for the rest of the table, I would probably tear it apart and build something new. I know the problem with that is it gets expensive if you don't have a big collection, but ideally you'd play Zada, a few times, and once people get sick of it, I wouldn't say go build a powered down bad deck or that you're doing anything wrong with your Zada build, but once people get tired of it, then build, Zada 2.0. Build something that's not Zada, but it doesn't have to necessarily be lower powered or whatever. You can build... turn one Leyline axe, always awkward. But you can build something different to give people a break. So that's probably what I do. But yeah, that is one of the big challenges of Commander, right? Is trying to match power level. It's a format where everyone wants to be having fun. That's kind of the ethos of the format, is you want the entire table to have a good time. And that's just a little bit different than other formats. Huh. Do we just have to portable hole? We could Thran Power Suit. But then they can still just kill it. Yeah, let's just portable. Here's a green white aggro deck I've been playing lately. I had Balos in the main, but never really enjoyed them too much. It's such a tough thing because it feels like there's so much discard, but people who play the discard spells are very cautious now about playing against Wilt Leafs and playing against Obstinate Balos. So it's a little harder to get them to pop off than you would think. The deck looks sweet, though. It reminds me a little bit of... Actually, it's more of a counter theme. I was thinking it reminded me of the green-white Cage deck. And it does have Cage in it, but it's kind of a different set of threats in the deck, which is sweet. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to have to play some counters in Standard sometime. Blade of the Oni. Yoda Man for this 73rd month. Welcome to the Fish Bowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super here. Thank you. Well, let's Thran Power Suit. Put it on the Fervent Champion. And get in Hitcha. I mean, we got first strike, so they can't really block it. I don't even think we need to kill that. We'll just pass. Also, the situation leading up to the ruling was sus to the player's super tight all game, then sudden plays and passes super fast. Yeah, it definitely sounded sus. Although, one thing I think it's important to be careful with in these situations where the play didn't happen on video is it's a story with two sides, right? Like, you have one perspective of someone who feels wronged, and then you have the opponent on the other side. When I read the perspective of the opponent, who probably rightly feels wronged by the situation, I take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Not that they're lying, just like everyone has their own perspective. You can have two people experience the same event, and because of their worldview and their psychology, like they can come away from it feeling very different about it. So all that to say, it's hard to know too much about the pace of play thing, just because I couldn't see it myself. So one person's perspective of it was that, which very well could be true, but it's hard to say with any amount of definiteness. Is that even a word? Without actually being able to see it on camera. Hey, what's up, Doug? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's get sheltered by ghosts, I think. So far, this is kind of working. We're going to get hit by this slasher, which is less than great. Seth, what if my play group hypothetically plays solid 7.58s, and I just don't like this type of deck, so I have to play combo? Whenever I win, I feel robbed of the game, and I don't know what to do. They also don't want to include many interactions, but if they do, they are staples high-powered. I mean, that is actually that is the problem of Commander, right? That is the biggest challenge of Commander. How do you have a format where the ethos is you want everyone at the table to have fun, but everyone has a different view of fun? So what's fun for you might not be fun for the rest of the people. How do you work through that? I think it's on both people, right? Like, the rest of the table has to be accepting that the way you have fun might be different than how they have fun. And to some extent, that's fine. That your deck, if it combos anyone like combos, that's not the end of the world, and it should be okay. Obviously, you can go too far. If you're showing up every week with Armageddons and no one gets to play and everyone's hating it, that's probably not going to last too long before people are just done with it, but... Oh, wow. Okay. So this is great. So we get to Sheltered by Ghosts, the Fervent Champion, the Ward up to 4, get rid of the Slasher, Portable Hole, get rid of the Goblin token, and next turn we get the Leyline Axe, which should be game. Get in, hit ya. Get in with Javier. Down to 12, up to 10, pass the turn. I do tend to agree with Richard, though, assuming... it's an actual mistake. I don't think it's scummy. Not to give the EV after the judge makes a ruling. I've definitely seen other people that have that take as well. I'm kind of on the other side personally, but I also know that, ooh, that's kind of rough. Everyone. Oh no. Oh no. That is not good. Anger the gods. Oh, well, okay. Kellen the Fey-Blooded. And 3 in Power Suit. Hopefully this Kellen can hold off the Slasher. We'll see. Land on white. Go. I tend to have high-powered decks that can win fair, but can combo off when the game drags too long or too many board wipes. I think that's a good way to... Oh. Whew. Oh. Yeah, that hurt. That one hurt. Hitasugu consumes all. Eh? Huh. Does this mean we're dead? Now we can play the Adanto Vanguard. Oh, but this, yeah, they can copy the blood type. Yeah, we are just dead, actually. Oh, wait. Meros Ether. Okay. Oh, we're going to go over it. We're going to go over the spoiler. That is a tradition. I'm actually getting more and more hyped for Ether Drift. I'm getting more and more excited. All right, after this game, we will go through the tweet teaser. 1 week until spoilers. 1 week. Thanks for the advice. The deck list below might give you an idea of how I changed in deck building just because I watched the Goldfish Crew, Clash Battles, absolutely enjoy them. Ooh, let me see. Actually, I'm curious. Do you think that Commander Clash is too spiky? Do you think... I've been wondering about that. Like, I feel like I used to play Commander way more casually in the past. And I feel like playing Commander for so long just leads to I guess, more experience in different card choices, different deck building. So I feel like our decks are like different, that we have like our own meta, and I don't know if that's good for I don't know if that's something people enjoy for content or no. All right, how about this stuff like the fog meta, which is something that's pretty unique to us, or like the no mana rock thing. Does that make watching Commander Clash interesting because you're like, oh, that's kind of unique, that's different, I haven't seen people play this way? Or is it like, what in the world are these people doing? Like, of course mana rocks are great. Of course fogs are horrible. These decks are ridiculous. Like, why would you possibly do that? I've always wondered about that, if it was a positive or a negative for viewers. Our power level keeps going up and up. We took a break for 9 months and pretty much reset the power level when we came back with new decks. I will say one of the ways that we've been able to control power levels, I mean, to me, this looks like a pretty fine. This does not look like a problematic commander deck to me. Like, you got a lot of jank in there, a lot of funny stuff. It's got a theme. I would think this deck is fine. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything that makes me think, oh man, that's going to make people super salty and they're going to hate playing against it. I guess Enchantress is a strong archetype, but still, I think it'd be fine. Well, let's play the land, and I think we just get down Adanto Vanguard. I'm a little worried about Fervent Champion just getting killed in response to the equip. I wish we had our Apostle. We need the Pro Black. Pro Black would be super good. Will there be any Pauper videos? On occasion, perhaps. I keep hearing about how good Pauper is, so at some point I'll probably play some Pauper. Currently, there is no, like, consistent every week style of Pauper content, but I think a little bit will be slipped in now and then. Opponent. Blade of the Oni. Huh. Do we just Shelter by Ghost it? It seems decent. Yeah. Is it even worth it? What if they have Liliana? Is Liliana concern? Torch by Tower. You know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Sheltered by Ghosts. Actually, let's do it this way. We don't need to pay the life here. Sheltered by Ghosts on the Adanto Vanguard. And hit you for 4. I think the exclusion of mana rocks makes your game slightly slower but less likely to be blown out, and the inclusion of fogs is great for content he had at moments. That is true. It does lead to some pretty epic moments, which that part I think I do like. Oh, I want a Thran Power Suit. Can we afford? You know what? We're gonna Thran Power Suit. We're gonna take the slasher hit. I don't know if this is smart or not, but I want to get the ward. We want to get the ward up on this Adanto Vanguard. Get in for 6. Opponent gonna block. Well, okay. Pay the 4. Kill the slasher. Gain back 6. The remote farm thing is insane. Please don't play those. I am not convinced. Richard and Phil have not convinced me that those lands are playable. They are not playable. There's so... I mean, yes, there's exceptions to every rules. There's exceptions to every rules. And yes, if you're a proliferate deck or something, like... But I think the idea of actually playing those is actually kind of... It's too much. It's too much for me. I'm a bounce land believer, but that's just too much. Yeah, our opponent, I don't know about that chump. That chump block is a little strange. It also lets us... I mean, this works out great. We get a portable hole to get rid of the goblin. And then we can lightning helix to get rid of the slasher forever. Go up to 28, smeg you with the Vanguard. As long as we can dodge an edict, we're in pretty good shape. We're up to 34, opponent. Gonna do a little looting. So what is the hype level for Ether Drift before we get into this teaser? Oh yeah, bounce lands are so good. I feel like bounce lands are still underrated. Jeshosh, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your got an answer this time. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. Opponent cannot kill the indestructible Adanto Vanguard. Passing. Oh, we can't equip it, but next turn, that's a Leyline X. We're doing this without the axe, too. We have no axe, and we're still getting it done. Combat. A Vanguard. Hit ya. Down to 3. I feel like my hype level was like 4, and it's up to like 6 or so, like something like that. It's like maybe slightly below average because I'm very worried about energy. Oh, energy and standard sounds so bad. I'm very concerned about energy, but my hype level is slowly ticking up. Well, all right, opponent. I would like to ask you a question here. Can you kill the Yonanto Vanguard? Oh, that was like a C-. Play more Flump. That is good advice. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you. We actually got a new vehicle already. I was gonna ask you after this game. I'll ask you about it. Well, all right. This should be game, right? Play the Yonanto Vanguard. I mean, Rakdos is the best deck in Pioneer. It is the best deck. But can it beat a Leyline axe? Can it beat a Leyline axe? Can it beat it? Opponent, it can go indestructible. It can go indestructible. Keep that in mind, Zamone. Torch the tower. I mean, sure. I don't even know why we care about activating this, but we have so much life, we might as well. Are we going to torch the tower again? All right, sure. You know what? I'm going to activate it again just for fun. Just to show our opponent. You know what? We have so much. You know what? Actually, let's activate this one too. You're not killing our stuff, opponent. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's not happening. You're getting axed. Oh, got him. New vehicles. I'm curious about new vehicles. We got some really sweet vehicles in Kamigawa, but they never really worked as an archetype. Raging Goblin! 11 months, almost to the 1-year resub. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription. Thank you. I mean, our opponent could have just died with dignity. They had that option. They had the option to die with dignity. Is that BM? Oh, all right. Yeah, you're probably right. I'll avoid it in the future, maybe. All right, so we got one spoiler. Then we're going to look at the teaser. What do you think of Lifecraft Engine? This was our one new Ether Drift spoiler we got yesterday. 3-mana vehicle. You get a 4/4. It crews for 3. When it enters, you choose a creature type. Vehicle creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. And each creature you control the chosen type other than the vehicle gets +1/+1 for it. So essentially, if you're playing a tribal deck, you can play this as a 3-mana anthem. Like if you're humans or cats or whatever, 3 mana, all your team gets +1/+1. Plus, it turns your vehicles into that creature type, which has some interesting synergies, right? Like now your vehicles are humans, so they get counters from Thalia's Lieutenant, or they're merfolk, so you get Island Walk from Lord of Atlantis. So it's kind of intriguing. The question I really have about this card, because I feel like this is probably a bulk rare. I think it's hard for me to see this seeing standard play. It doesn't have flying, which usually good vehicles or playable in standard type vehicles have flying or some sort of evasion. So no evasion. It's got to be in a tribal deck to really be good. What about this second ability, though? The one thing I can't shake. Yes, Magda is probably the best home for this card. Magda, you can play another go white decks. Magda in specific, though, likes vehicles, so you tap down your stuff if you care about tapping. My question is there any combos with turning vehicles into creatures of a chosen type? I can't shake the feeling in the back of my head that there's some combo here, because this card reads pretty tame to me. So when I read it, I feel like maybe that ability is sneakily powerful somewhere. Like, you turn your vehicles into a creature type. Vehicles, what's the upside of vehicles? They can tap things without getting into combat. Is there some way we can like combo off? Yeah, Magda might be as close as it gets, but yeah, so that's our one spoiler. Full spoilers next week, but we got Mark Rosewater's teaser. Let's see what we get here. So Marrow's Ether Drift teaser. So if you don't know, Mark Rosewater, head designer of Magic, puts these up before every set, kind of goes over some of the stuff we're going to see to get people hyped. Well, this is what we find out about Ether Drift. So first up, here's some things you can expect. A 13/13 vehicle that crews for 2 and costs 1 mana to cast. I feel like Didn't we have Consulate? Remember the Mr. Plowdeck with Consulate Dreadnought? It reminds me of this. The fact that it crews for 2, though. What is the restriction? What is it? There's got to be a restriction on this. There's no way you just play a one-mana vehicle that crews for 2. It's got to be like enters with so many counters that you got to remove before it can, like, there's got to be some extra. Oh, Death Shadow vehicle. Oh, Death Shadow's even a 13/13. I like it. I mean, Defender, yeah, but that feels so. Oh, that feels so janky. It could be an energy thing. That's true. Oh, Phyrexian Dreadnought. We haven't seen another Phyrexian Dreadnought in forever. That would actually be even cooler than Death Shadow. Phyrexian Dreadnought, when it enters, you have to sack power of 12 or more to get the 12/12. So essentially, you're not actually generating more power, typically. You are getting trample out of it. That would be a neat design. Then you'd have to stifle it or something, but it would be an interesting build around. I think it's Death Shadow. Death Shadow vehicle is a really good guess. I'm going to go with that. A mechanic called Start Your Engines, which one thing I'm pretty confident about in this set is it's just going to be every, like, racing meme, right? Like, it's got to be what cowboy hats were to Outlaws of Thunder Junction or fedoras to Murders at Carlot Manor. I imagine it's just going to have any sort of racing car, Fast and Furious meme they can throw in there. 3 planeswalkers native to one of the worlds visited and 1 non-native gets a desparked legendary creature version. 3 planeswalkers native to one of the worlds visited and 1 non-native gets a desparked legendary creature version. So Muruganda. Wait, what are the planes again? So Kaladesh, or whatever it's called now. Muruganda, and what's the third one? They're racing between 3 planes. Someone help me out. I didn't know this. So just so it's clear, if I'm reading this correctly, Mero's not saying 4 planeswalkers. He's saying 4 characters. Amonkhet, right. 4 characters that were planeswalkers are going to get their Despark legendary creature versions. So Chandra's from Kaladesh, Saheeli Rai from Kaladesh. Those could be 2 of them. Who else is from Kaladesh? Interesting. Well, I mean, I guess that's not super surprising just because we're getting a lot of these desparked. Huh? No. A cycle of vanilla legendary creatures. Vanilla. In a cycle. No. Wait, what is this even gonna what is it even gonna be? How can they make these cards exciting? They just gotta have huge stats, I guess? Like, how do you make a cycle of vanilla legends that people are hyped about? I am very intrigued by that. Maybe you just put really big stats on them compared to their mana costs. Maybe it's a flavor thing. I wonder if they could be commons. Like, would they do a legendary grizzly bear or hill giant just to have it? Hey, Seth, just joined for a quick chat before going revisiting. I've been finding it incredibly difficult to want to play MTG anymore as a green player after black got 1 mana kill any green creature. Meanwhile, green's answers to black dies to removal before it can do anything. This combined with Universes Beyond and MTG has completely sapped my enthusiasm for the game. No idea what to do about the game anymore. Well, Chicken Guy, I'm sorry you haven't been enjoying it. It has been a rough time for green players. That is for sure. I think it'll get better. If there's one thing I can tell you that will hopefully set your mind a little bit at ease, it wasn't that long ago the green was the best color in Standard, and black kind of sucked. So I think Wizards, they really want the ebb and flow, the peaks and valleys, right? So I imagine that even though right now green kind of sucks, I think we will probably have Wizards overreact and make green super good, and it's going to be really busted. So hopefully green will get better in the future. If you need to, take a break though. Like, it's It's an easy thing to do if you're just feeling burnout. Arocalypse for the 58 month. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Cats and dog mounts. So mounts are coming back along with the vehicles. So gonna be crewing everything in this set. And old god returns and new gods are introduced. I mean, gods are typically pretty cool. Oh, Donovan Bane. Yeah, Donovan Bane is actually. What kind of creature would Donovan Bane be, though? It's hard for me to imagine Donovan Bane as a creature, but yeah, that is actually a very good guess. Numerous mechanics from worlds visited gets cameos. So mechanics, all right. So, oh no, is that energy? So what mechanics do we actually have? So Amonkhet, Exert, Embalm, Aftermath, Eternalize, Afflict. Huh. Oh, I skipped a Lotus. New Lotus. I mean, what? How could they make a Lotus that has something to do with car racing? How would you make a safe new Lotus? I mean, Lotus is a pretty strong word in Magic. The history of Lodi, I mean, most of them are pretty good. There are 18 Lotuses. Obviously, Black Lotus is the OG. But like Jeweled Lotus was busted, Timeless Lotus has seen play, Gilded Lotus used to be good, Lotus Blossom or Lotus Bloom is really good, Lotus Blossom kind of sucks, Lotus Cobra, Lotus Field. Lotus cards tend to be really, really good. Lotus Petal even. How do you make a safe Lotus for standard? Well, that's going to be exciting at least. Oh, I don't want energy to get better. That is my biggest. If we get out of this without energy being busted, I'll be happy. A cycle of multicolored Gearhulks. This we already kind of knew about. Well, I guess we didn't know it was a cycle, but we did know that there were Gearhulks because one of the early spoilers, super early spoilers, Bright Glass Gearhulk. 4-mana 4/4 first strike trample. When it enters, search your library for 2 artifact or creatures or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less. Reveal them, put them in your hand. Seems pretty good, actually. I wonder, can they show up in the cage decks? I feel like that's a standard playable card. Like, it's Ranger Captain of Eos, except you can get artifacts or creatures or enchantments as well, and you get a bigger body. Like, compared to Ranger Captain of Eos, which used to be a really good card, Bright Glass Gearhulk seems very, very good. So new Gearhulk's coming. Numerous mechanics from worlds that get a cameo. New vehicle artifact token. Funky Monkey Beats! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Ooh, Lotus Fuel would be cool. I wonder how they're going to get the racing to come across in the set. A new vehicle artifact token. Here are some rules text that'll be showing up on cards. This creature saddles mounts and crews vehicles using toughness rather than power. That's actually just a neat little mechanic. Like, I like that. That's kind of a cool little card. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. I feel like that might exist. Wait, dinosaurs? Which of the planes? Oh, Margunda has dinosaurs. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. So dinosaur lord of some kind. Revolt XD, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Hey, Toyin, you can just toss it right in the chat if you want to, and I'll take a peek at it. Whenever a player casts a spell they don't own, Wizards loves the theft thing. Like, I guess that's a commander thing, but just, I feel like 90% of theft cards have been printed in the last 3 years or something. Tap, add red for each goblin you control. Oh, that could be busted. Goblins have been on the down swing. I feel like would they print a goblin Well-Wisher? Oh no, not Well-Wisher. Not Well-Wisher. What's the one that taps to make mana for each elf you control? Could we actually get like a 2-drop? I think the mana cost is going to... This card could be busted. If this is like a 2-drop creature, the card's going to be insane. If it's like a 4-drop Priest of Titania, yes, thank you. If it's like a Priest of Titania, it's going to be insane. If it's like a 4-drop Kranko or 5-drop or something, during turns other than yours, this vehicle is an artifact creature. Okay, a vehicle that can play defense without crewing. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability. Draw a card. Ooh. Wait, that's gotta be a new mechanic, right? And exhaust ability. So what would exhaust be? Exhaust. How would you have exhaust be a mechanic? Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, draw a card. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, that is absurd. Whenever you attack, if a pirate or vehicle attack this combat, ... creatures you control have base power toughness of 6/6 and are oozes in addition to their other types. I mean, vehicles, they got exhaust. Apparently, Kaladesh and Morgunda are dealing with some exhaust issues as well. Here are some creature type lines. Seal pirate. Have we ever had a seal in Magic? I feel like there has never been a seal in Magic before. I'm pretty confident. Wait, are there seals? Do we actually wait? Yeah, no seals. Our first ever Exert would make sense, right? Exert feels like it should be like exhaust. Okay, seals are coming to Magic. Seal pirate, lizard berserker, insect archer, core pilot, robot turtle. We need a robot chicken card eventually. Get on that, wizards. Ape druid, zombie cat knight, Vidalcan ranger, dinosaur dragon mountain etherborn rogue. And okay, here we go. Some names from the set. Give us the puns. Adrenaline jockey. Flood the engine. It's a gas guzzler. Maximum overdrive. Put the pedal to the metal. Road rage. Roadside assistance. Speed demon. Spin out. Siphon fuel. That's about what I expected. Every pun that has to do with racing. Actually, I'm getting more and more excited for this set. This set's gonna be sweet. I think this set might actually be sweet. And plus, I mean, standards. A speed demon better be a demon. If speed demon's not a demon, what are we even doing? Field of Agony. Ooh, all right. So doing some Lotus Field, Vizier, Tumbling Sands, tap and untap, kind of Tweedle Storm, I think is what we've called it in Modern. I haven't really seen people doing this in Historic. How has this deck worked for you, Toyin? Has it got some wins? It's a cool idea. I like it. That looks super sweet. Yeah, what are the easy universes beyond for this? Speed Racer, Fast and Furious. Wow. I might have to try it, Toyin. That's actually very impressive. Nice. That looks super cool. What else has to do with racing? Speed Racer, Fast and Furious, NASCAR. Are you gonna do NASCAR? I do not understand the appeal of kart racing. Mad Max. Okay, Mad Max. I can get behind that. I can get behind the post-apocalyptic. Hey, Yellow Hat with the raid. Welcome, Raiders. How are things going, Gab? Hopefully y'all had a good stream. We're trying to Leyline Axe and Pioneer at the. Ooh, all right, we get the Leyline Axe. We have no fervent champion, but that's fine. That's fine. How are you, Raiders? Welcome. Opponent. About it. What's up, Gab? How was the stream today? Thank you so much for the raid. Fervent champion. Are you playing in Chicago, Gab? Are you qualified for that? Well, Fervent Champion's about the best draw we could have here. Hopefully our opponent does not have a fatal push. And ooh, okay, that's the 2/2 double striker on turn 1. If they can't kill this and we get the Sheltered by Ghost down, our opponent's in trouble. Hold. No, don't be looking. Opponent torches the tower. Well, at least we got the torch the tower out of the hand for our Apostle of Purifying Light. Hopefully they're mostly black removal. Sweet. Yeah, Chicago should be fun. Fable of the Meowbreaker. Well, let's play the land. I guess we can just double. Do we just let this live? So we can Shelter by Ghost it. We can also just Leyline Axe. Maybe we just race. Yeah, let's just race. Leyline Axe hit you for 6. Leyline Axe is so good. I feel like Leyline X is still a sleeper at this point, and people just have not really caught on to how good Leyline X can be. Opponent going to discard some black removal. Makes sense. Looking for, if they find another Torch to the tower, it becomes a little worse. Bassery Cat is certainly a dispark creature. Oh, right. I kind of forgot about Bassery because we only had Bassery in one set. And it never really did that much in standard. So I kind of forgot about Bassery as a character, but that is actually a good one. Oh no, are the ghosts? I thought the ghosts were gone. I thought my new computer solved the ghost problem, but apparently not. Can we win here somehow? So opponent's at 10. So if we do, I think we win, right? We put this on red. Sheltered by Ghost U. Get rid of, it really doesn't matter. Get rid of you. Opponent can't block it anyway because of protection. Hit ya down to 6. Hit you down to 2. And, oh my god, it's Lightning Helix. Oh, Leyline. So I've become addicted to Leyline. I was a little skeptical that a Leyline equipment would be good, but every time I play it, it has impressed me. And now I'm to the point where I'm like building decks around Leyline because it's just been that good. At first, it was just like, I don't know, maybe, funny janky card. But the more I play, I'm like, oh my god, this might be the new Hammer time. This might be the card that brings back equipment decks. It's kind of funny. I think one of the biggest lessons of the past year of Magic is Leylines are busted. It really almost doesn't matter. Like, it does matter to some extent, but like, it almost doesn't matter what they do. The fact that they start in play is just so insane. What is the worst? What is the worst Leyline? Oh, maybe I do a Leyline tier list. That'd be sweet. What is the worst Leyline? Actually, I feel like the hit rate's pretty good. Leyline of Abundance, his team play back to Pioneer. Leyline of Anticipation, Commander Staple. Leyline of Combustion, see sideboard play. Leyline of Hope is new. We haven't, I don't know. I think Leyline of Hope is still fine for life gain decks. It just hasn't had much time. Leyline of Life Force, I've never seen C play. Leyline of Lightning might be the worst. Leyline of Lightning, Leylines that cost extra mana are pretty bad. Whenever you play a spell, you can pay 1 to deal 1 damage to target player. Also, Leyline of Mutation's pretty bad. I feel like these three are in the 2 green ones in the Leyline of Lightning. Punishment has uses. Resonance is busted. Sanctity is a staple. Guild Pack's busted. Leyline of the Make's pretty jank, although we have played it before in like budget Magic decks. Leyline of the Void staple. Transformation combo potential. Vitality has weird uses by like letting your creatures get around certain sweepers. It seemed very fringe play. Singularity, I always feel like Singularity, I guess we had to run it back. I feel like Singularity is a Leyline that has potential, although I've never really figured out how to break it. Mutation is only good in 5-color commander decks. I'm honestly not even convinced it's good in 5-color commander decks. Hey, congratulations, Tuka! Well done. Yeah, but like, there's 15 Leylines now, I think, and like half of them are staples. Ooh. Can we keep a hand without a creature? Probably. Oh, we got the axe. Yeah, I don't think we can keep the. Ooh, okay. Now we have an axe and a Fervent Champion. And an Adanto Vanguard. Well, we will start with a Leyline axe. Do you like Leylines? I've heard some people complain about Leylines. Just the freeness of them. I kind of feel like Leylines are on the safer end of free spells, but no free spell is actually safe. Oh. Yeah. Well, that's just... Oh, they have no removal. Oh, God, down to 12. Okay, how about a Adanto Vanguard and pass turn? Is this deck busted? Is this deck just actually really busted? About it. Blackleaf Cliffs. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Not good enough. Sure. Opponent's gonna need like a Damnation. Apostle of Purifying Light. Well, we will just Sheltered by Ghosts. Get rid of you. Fervent Champion. Wait, is this game? They pump each other. And it has double strike. Oh, wait, pump. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and That'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. And Leyline X, it is a card. I need help finding the deck where Seth used Huskbuster Swarm and Hollow Marauder. Ooh, Beans and Goif, I think. I believe I called it Goif and Beans. Here you go. Here's the deck list. That was actually very impressive. This deck might actually be kind of good. That is the Huskbuster deck list. Oh, okay. We didn't talk about this. I'm curious about this as well. You gotta give me your vote, chat. True story or someone trying to farm Reddit karma. So this, I don't know if I believe this or not. I do believe it, but other people don't. So the story is, this post showed up on Reddit where someone's like, I found this box of Magic cards in a free pile at the side of the road. And then they opened up the box, and oh my God, they got an insane hit. These are all cards from the early 90s. They got seven dual lands. And if you just go through the pictures, there's like Blood Moon, Wheel of Fortune, Maze of Ith, Winter Orb. It is just insane. Soul Rings and Nevstis. It's just a pile of like revised cards and Legends cards. Do you think this is real? Also, look at that. Kelvin Demonic Tutor. Do you think it's real? So incredibly fake, super fake, always fake. Farmersonly.com. It's probably like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of cards. I think there's my theory is basically your theory, Jofu, that if you look at the cards, they're all from like the early mid 90s, right? There's no like modern cards in there. They're all 94 through 98 or something, like roughly that time period. My justification for being real is like a kid played Magic. He was 12 years old at the time, was pasting Kelvin Hobbs on top of his demonic tutors. But like some kid was playing Magic back like high school, middle school or something in the mid 90s, played Magic for a few years, stopped playing the game. The cards were in that box that got set in a basement or a garage or something. And now 30 years later, his parents cleaned out the garage and just don't know about Magic, don't care about Magic, thought it's like my kid's silly stuff from 30 years ago and just put it in the free pile. I think it could be. I think that is a realistic explanation for how it could be real. It is also possible that the person already had that collection and was like, you know how I can get a bunch of Reddit karma is I can take these pictures and make up this story. That's true. I mean, 1 in 3 million things do happen every day because there's more than 3 million people. But it is also true that people lie on the internet a lot. Oh, wait, did you see that? Did you see the story of a woman being scammed for $800,000 by Brad Pitt? Which was actually not Brad Pitt, but like AI and photoshopped pictures of Brad Pitt. I don't know if you saw it. It was my brain can still not comprehend exactly how. Like, I get it. The internet's a tough place. If you're like an older person who's not a native to the internet, and it's easy. I see it with my older relatives, my grandmother, my mother, like getting these messages on the internet, getting scammed. I can see how people can get scammed. What I can't really exactly understand is how you get a message from someone that says, I'm Brad Pitt and I'm in the hospital and I need a kidney. So I need $800,000 because I can't access my bank account. That's the part I don't really understand is how do you believe that story? That's the part I get. I'm sympathetic of people being scammed on the internet because I see how that can happen. But that story just seems so incredibly far out there that I'm not sure how that would not immediately set off alarm bells. The $800K was her divorce settlement. Oh, man. I mean, I feel bad for anyone that gets ripped off, but what are the odds that actual Brad Pitt just sent you a message and that Brad Pitt needs a kidney and can't pay for it? Like, Every level of that story is so incredibly sus. Yes, if you ever need the deck, exclamation point deck, we'll pull up the deck list. So far the deck's been kind of crushing it, way more than I would have expected. Well, let's play a Fervent Champion. Tron assembled. Javier Tron. 3-land power suit? Do a little pumping. They could flash something in, but I think we still just swing with the team and see what happens. Well, free equip. Get on the power suit. Yeah, my theory is it was a kid's collection in the 90s who stopped playing in the 90s when he went off to college or whatever, like moved away from the game. And then 30 years later, his parents threw it out, and that's how it ended up there. I do admit that it could very much just be a scam. My first thought was, well, like, what is the incentive for the scam? But then I realized internet karma is a big incentive for a lot of people. Like, it doesn't seem like a few Reddit upvotes does not seem like enough of a reason to take all those pictures and concoct this story. But in reality, it probably is. Oh my God, Tom Cruise needs a gallbladder. Well, I will help you, Tom. Let me actually, don't you have like Scientology to save you? But yes, I'll find some Power 9 for you, Tom. I'll get right on it. The reason that I think it was the kid in the 90s is just because the collection is contained to like a 5-year period in the 90s. All the good cards, all the bulk cards, it was all from like this 5-year period. If I had seen like, oh, it's mostly old stuff, but here's a little bit of, you know, whatever, Mirrodin, and here's a little Innistrad, then I would be like, okay, this is obviously a collection that someone has touched in the last 20 years. But the fact that the time just ends at like 1998 or 1999, like that is the entire collection, is that 5-year chunk. I could see it being something that was just like forgotten about essentially, or like people didn't really care about. So I could see that. I think it's at least possible. How do I keep attacking with my Javier through this Thalia? All right, let's crack a map. Hopefully hit a non-land. Oh, Cigar. Well, all right, that is a non-land. So crack the map. Grow the Fervent Champion. Play the Apostle of Purifying Light. Do we attack with both? Actually, I don't know if we attack with both. Yeah, I mean, that's how it reads to me, Nerdageddon. That is my reasoning that I think it could be legit. I mean, and maybe it's, who knows? We have no way of knowing for sure, but it seems realistic to me. I think people have gotten a lot better at knowing cards are worth things. I remember when I used to buy and sell collections, like pretty actively, like 15 years ago. It was wild around like 2010, like that era. Like what you could get off of Craigslist and places like that. Like I remember just buying collections for like $100 and opening up the decks and finding original dual lands and stuff. Like it was crazy. Like people just either didn't know or didn't care about the value. So it ended up just being incredible. But people have gotten so much more on top of the value of stuff that just doesn't happen anymore. Dear Seth, I hope this finds you well. We have found ourselves in a dire situation at the hospital. Please consider donating $800K to assist us to believe the Pinkertons have come. Sincerely, your bottom line. Okay. All right, chat. Who's the one person that is most likely to be able to scam you at $800,000? Like, if you get the message saying, I am blank, I need a kidney, my bank account's all messed up, can you please send me $800,000? Whose name has to be in the blank for you to get scammed? And why is it Mark Rosewater? I think it's Mark Rosewater. If I got a message that was like, hey Seth, it's Mark Rosewater, I need a kidney, I don't know. I mean, we need his teaser. We need his teaser for every set. I don't know what I do without that. That alone is worth $800,000. Well, do we sheltered by ghosts? This Thalia is actually obnoxious, but it's also potentially keeping our opponent from collected companying. Let's... I guess we Kellen. Let's Birthright Boon. And I guess we just take a hammer. Hammer seems pretty good here. We can flash it in post-combat, potentially, and just get the win. Not this turn, next turn. Next turn. Richard can scam me out of $100,000 depending on new MTG Goldfish store options. Ooh, speaking of MTG Goldfish card options. Yeah, I don't either. The poor scammers call the wrong number. Toenail transplant. All right, chat. Something else I want your help with. Speaking of new merch store options, I realized like there's kind of a there's a Phil shirt. Phil made a shirt. And then Krim just made a shirt. I kind of need a t-shirt, chat. I need a t-shirt. But I don't know what to do. The closest thing to a Saffron Olive t-shirt is probably I Heart Jank, which I do love the I Heart Jank t-shirt. But there's like the Brewer's Kitchen one, there's the new Phil one. What would be a good just the beard? Oh, just the beard might be cool. What would be a good t-shirt design? If you have ideas, let me know because I want a t-shirt. Scumble's just probably too, man, that is hilarious. I feel like no one would know what it was though. Well, let's do this. Let's Sheltered by Ghosts on the Fervent Champion. To get rid of the Voice of Resurgence. Go to combat. Swing with both. And see if our opponent wants to live or die. The choice is yours, friend. I like the... Wait, did they just choose dot? Oh, wait. Why can we not... Why can't I cast this? Oh, heh. They blew up. While we were talking about t-shirts, they blew up our... I see. That went way worse than I expected. Okay. While we were talking about t-shirts, they blew up our Cigar Dizade. Well, there's another Kellen. Sure, we'll just grow this Fervent Champion. All right, your go about it. Hey, Zeth, Jason Mind Sculptor here. I'm in the hospital after a close call with Veroska. Also, Nicole Bolas froze my Blue Mana account. So I need some ramp to pay the one. Oh, now I kind of want to make a short of that. That would actually be funny. Here was the other thing, chat. Speaking of t-shirts, the other one that I really want to make is just a Clash On t-shirt. What would be good on a Clash On t-shirt? Like, is just the text enough? Like, just Clash, some sort of stylized Clash On text. What else could I put on a Clash On t-shirt? Because I also would like to do a Commander Clash t-shirt because I want to wear it. but I'm just not sure what would be good for the art. Ooh, Blood Moon. Yeah, I wish. It's a little challenging to use real art. Like, because technically Wizards owns the Magic art. So even with t-shirts, it's a little tough. A little tough to use official art, but we might be able to do some of it. I wouldn't just buy a Clash On t-shirt. Have a crim phrase on there. Do we get the Leyline X? Yeah, all right. We're gonna just get the Leyline X for next turn. And trust that next turn, this Fervent Champion is gonna win us the game. Do we even attack this turn? Yeah, I guess we do. Well, get in there. About it. Ooh, if they can kill the Sheltered by Ghosts, it becomes awkward. Oh, all right. It becomes awkward. Opponent kills the Sheltered by Ghost. Actually, we're still kind of okay, right? Because it says first strike, so they still can't actually kill it. Oh no, opponent. That's no, no, no. No, 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 Opponerino. That's not how this goes. First strike. Teaching arena zoomers about first strike. Well, lightning helix with our opponent being at 6 is actually not that bad. All right, this fervent champion's going to town. I like the beard idea. I like just the beard idea. Oh, just the goldfish. We already have the scoops with the beard. Maybe we just do that. Tomer's enthusiasm for Clash On kind of makes me like Clash On. Tomer just embraces it so much that it makes me also embrace it. He's just got the right attitude for it. His deck's kind of been crushing it. It has kind of been crushing it. A reminder, by the way, that our sponsor today, Card Kingdom, if you need some magical cards, you can make cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Beard on a Blood Moon. Oh, that'd be so good. Imagine, wait, Brad Pitt? Is that you? Wait, what scam? The Brad Pitt scam that we were talking about? What scam is being promoted? The Magic Arena scam? Beard Moon. Why is that not a thing? Huh. Streaming earlier than usual, any reason? Yeah, so tonight, I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I mentioned before my little brother plays basketball for Louisville. So he plays basketball for Louisville, and this is his, let's see, where? There he is. But he plays for Louisville. He plays D1 basketball. This is his last year, and Louisville's playing in Syracuse, New York tonight. This is the first time in his 6 years of playing D1 basketball that they're actually playing essentially a homecoming game for him, like an hour away from where he grew up. So going to his game tonight, there are going to be like a ton of people. You know, it's kind of a big thing since this is his last year and it's essentially a home game for him. So doing that tonight. So I didn't want to cancel the stream. So rather than canceling it, I figured we'll just stream a bit earlier, and then I'm going to cut out and do dinner and the game and that stuff. Yeah, it should be sweet. Next week will also be a early stream, that time because of Ether Drift spoilers. So next week we'll also start early, and then they'll do the spoiler stream at 1, I believe, or maybe it's noon. But we'll start before the spoiler stream, watch the spoiler stream, do the spoiler video. So next stream will also be a little quicker. Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, or just Ponit. Ponit. Opponent. I do like that idea. We got a mulligan. Well, do we got a mulligan this? We're on the draw. We got the champion. Actually, you know what? We're going to keep this. One land, one keep. All right, we got our planes. That actually works out perfectly. This hand with 2 lands is actually amazing. This hand's great. How likely is he to accept? I mean, are you Brad Pitt? That's the real question. How likely are you to be Brad Pitt? It is absolutely wild how much money is floating around in college sports now. It blows my mind. My brother played at BYU the year before. Now he's at Louisville. But like BYU just signed the #1 high school kid for next year that's supposed to like be the top pick in the NBA draft the year after that. Apparently they're paying him $6.9 million for a single year, which is wild to me. I mean, it's also, I guess, the other system where they didn't play players was very bad. So I think it's an improvement, but the numbers that you hear from some of this stuff just blows my mind. Should have been a basketball player instead of a Magic player, apparently. Are you excited about Ether Drift? How are you feeling about Modern these days? Are there any MH3 cards that you want to play now that the meta is different? Well, my brother didn't make that amount of not that. That's like the highest number that anyone's ever heard of. Like it's an off the charts number. That's not the typical experience. That's the you're going to be the number 1 NBA draft pick next year amount of money. Well, let's put this on the champion. Do we go with, yeah, I mean, I guess. Get in there. Actually, I don't really want to lose the Fervent Champion. Let's get in with the Danto Vanguard. If our opponent blocks, we'll pay the 4. That's fine. So I am very excited for Ether Drift. It's been creeping up. I started like I said this earlier, maybe a 4 out of 10, and I'm up to like a 6.5. The more I hear about the set and the more I see, the more my hype level goes up. Plus, it's combined with the fact that just Standard's been really good lately. And actually, weirdly, most formats have been decent since the last round of bannings. As far as Modern, I'm still enjoying Modern a lot. I am seeing signs of it doing what I expected it to do. Like when we first had the bannings I mentioned, I'm just going to focus on enjoying Modern right now. I'm enjoying it. Like I'm having fun today, and I'm just going to do that as long as I can. We're seeing signs of the meta kind of becoming less of the Wild West, coalescing around a couple of archetypes like energy still. I really wish they'd went harder on the energy ban. Like here's the numbers that scare me about Modern. If you look at Modern for the last 30 days, you're like, okay, I mean, what? 16% energy, high but not insane. 11% Murktide. Actually, this looks pretty wide open, right? That looks like a solid meta. But then if you go last 14 days, you see energy up to 18%. And then if you go last 7 days, you see energy 20%, Murktide 20%. Obviously smaller sample size, but that would be my concern is like, it seems like the meta is kind of coalescing around energy, Murktide, and maybe Grinding Station is the third deck. Where these percentages end up, I think are going to be the biggest deal. Do those percentages end up 20-30%? That's not going to be a very fun format. If like the 2/3 of your matches are against these decks, does this normalize and drop down to like 15%? That's actually going to be a pretty sweet format. So still touch and go, but as for right now, I'm still in my I'm enjoying playing Modern phase. So I just try not to worry too much about the future, because I know long term it's not always going to be as fun as it is right now. But I've been playing Modern like almost daily since the bannings, and I'm still having a lot of fun with it. The ghosts, man, I do not know how to defeat these ghosts. Stay down, boy. All right, Pestered. Psycho Smurf, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 99th month. Actually, wait, Psycho Smurf, 99 months. I didn't know we had anyone at 99 months. I thought our highest was 95 months. That is amazing. 99 months. We're going to have a 100-month resubscriber next month, most likely, which is, that is insane. I've been loving the Modern changes. Looting was my baby. Been playing it since the update. Felt incredible. Storm has been slept on as the MH3 Flipwalker. Extort lets you grind. Ooh. Arabella Delirium. I saw someone on social media talking about Arabella being a very good Modern card, and I haven't tried it yet, but I kind of want to. This deck looks sweet. I love this. Reminds me a little bit of like Mardu Pyromancer in a weird way. It gives me a little bit like of that super fair Faithless Looting deck where you got the Lingering Souls and you're kind of like just filtering and grinding out value. That looks super sweet, Psycho Smurf. I like it a lot. Yeah, 100-month resub is that's wild. That is wild. Over the holidays, had a couple local tournaments. 3-1, 0-3 drop with my Blue Tron deck. Yeah, how have you all been enjoying Modern? Well, I guess we got to start killing things. Like, I guess it's got to be first Paw Patch Recruiter. Kill the Paw Patch. Is there anything from Modern Horizons 3 that I still really want to build around that we haven't got to play yet? I've looked through Modern Horizons 3 a few times. There's some like some kind of fringy stuff where I'd be like, oh, it'd be kind of neat to try. There's nothing that's really like S tier at the moment where I'm really like, oh, I've just been waiting to like play this card. But I'm still interested because we didn't play so much Modern right after Modern Horizons 3 released. I still feel that like there's a lot of stuff we can try. Like we haven't really explored White of the Reliquary or, well, maybe not Showdown, but Marionette Apprentice. We've seen a lot of Eldrazi. We've seen a lot of Energy. We've seen a few of the other cards, but I feel like there's still a pretty decent amount of cards that we can try. Oh, wait, we have a donation with a reader. We have someone reading our donations now. That's pretty sweet. I didn't realize I set it up that way, but good job, me. Lucid with the $2 donation. Been making my balances to the cube. Decided to try it out. Anti-cards. What's your pack one, pick one? All right, let me not time out here, and then I will tell you. Let's Sheltered by Ghosts. Sheltered by Ghosts. On the Fervent Champion. Get rid of the Thalia. Opponent gets a counter. Are we just not going to lose with this deck? I feel like we'll do the pack one, pick one after this turn. And then go to combat. Hit you with the Fervent Champion. If our opponent does too much blocking, we get him. Delphi Guru for the 35th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer. Thank you. Oh, we can kill the Aven Interrupter and then cast a Lightning Helix for free. That's actually pretty insane. Yeah, Mardu Pyromancer was such a cool deck. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Nerverton. Have a wonderful night. Oh, all right. So if we abrade. Wait, so if we target this, like, yeah, that's awkward. All right, so we need to abrade the Paw Patch. We finally need to get rid of this. Abrade the Paw Patch. I think we're going to win this game, but our opponent's putting up a fight. All right, let's see what our pack one, pick one is. So from Lucid's Cube, with anti-cards now, anti and cube is a neat idea. It is a neat idea. All right, hang on. Actually, we got no timeouts, Lucid. Let's finish this game, and then we'll do the pack one, pick one. Because we have no timeouts, if I start doing pack one, pick one, we're probably just going to time out and lose this game. And I think we can win this game. Wow, opponent is getting frisky. Sure, down to 12 for now. But we can go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Gonna take the beats. Down to 6. Well, let's play the Adanto Vanguard. And I feel like our opponent pretty much needs a top deck, especially with this Lightning Helix that can put him down to 3. Opponent draws a land. They can't turn on the Keen-Eyed Curator. They can exile stuff, but they can't grow it. And then if our opponent... Ooh, can we... 2-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop. Maybe we take up the Blast Zone. That might actually be better. Opponent, staying aggro. Getting in. For 7. Well, let's block the Keen-Eyed Curator. Down to 12. Tick up the Blast Zone. The Blast Zone looks janky in this deck, but I might actually just, and yeah, I mean, we crack the Blast Zone. So what we do here, and I think leads to us just winning the game as we do a little ranking up. So we crack the Blast Zone, kill the Thalia, kill the Keen-Eyed Curator. We can pay 4 to keep this around. Attack with both. Our opponent chumps goes to 3, and then we Lightning Helix their face. I guess we need a land to do it right away, but yeah, stacks Deck's crushing it. It's crushing it. All right, pack one, pick one with truly ridiculous cards. So you're cube drafting. What do you take here? So Everflowing Chalice is fine. Blood Tithe Harvester, Flagstones. I do like Sun Titan. Olifant has uses. Instill Energy combo piece. I do like building Smokestack decks. I feel like Smokestack, I'd be tempted, but I think the most absurd card here is the card that probably no one knows because it's the anti-card. Contract from Below. Contract from Below is busted. 1 mana, discard your hand, draw 8. But you got to add the first card you draw to your ante. So essentially, 1 mana, discard your hand, draw 7. A 1 mana black Wheel of Fortune. Only for yourself. But you have to ante an extra card. How does ante play in the cube, Lucid? Yeah, contract is, it's a silly, silly card. How do you actually ante in the cube? So you own all the cards, right? If it's a cube. So you just kind of like, do you actually play with ante, or do you just have the ante cards in the deck and you just play them without the ante? Yeah, I think it's gotta be contract. Contract's just such a silly Magic card. It's a silly Magic card. I do like Sun Titan though. Oh, did you see this, chat? So yesterday we got an announcement from Wizards. We've been dealing with how do you reprint exclusive Secret Lair cards. So obviously, one way to avoid this problem is not have exclusive new Secret Lair drop cards. Apparently, that's not an option. Wizards isn't going to do that. That cat's out of the bag. So how do we reprint exclusive Lair drop cards? So yesterday, Wizards announced they're going to do a test. And what they're going to do is, when they print a Secret Lair drop that has a new exclusive card, so not a reprint Secret Lair drop, when it has a new exclusive card, they are also going to send a limited number of non-foil drops to WPN local game stores, and you can buy them from your local game store. I'm not sure that this fixes any of the problems, but I think I might like it. So I don't think this actually solves the issue of $50 Ricks or $60 Storms, or like these exclusive Lair drop cards ending up being very expensive because they're hard to reprint. I don't think this does anything for that. So I feel like if anything, it shows a misunderstanding of the problem, which is how do you access these cards like a year, 2, 3, 5 in the future. So I don't think it solves the problem. That said, I do like that it helps local game stores, and I do like that it gives another way for players to get those Secret Lair drops. So I think it's a positive change, but I hope Wizards doesn't think this is the thing that's going to make Rick accessible or Storm accessible. Like, I hope they don't think this is going to be a solution to that problem, because I don't think it is. I think it's good for LGSs. Also, what do you think LGSs will sell for them? Is there any way, I don't even know if this is possible, is there any way that Wizards can enforce MSRP on a product? Is that even legal? I don't know if that's even legal. Like, is there any way that Wizards could send Secret Lair drops to local game stores and be like, you have to sell them for 30 or 40, like sell them for the normal Secret Lair price? Is that a legal thing that you could do? Because I feel like that would be my other concern. I like that it's helping LGSs, but we've seen with like the Fetch Land Secret Lair drop that went to local game stores, or from the vaults back in the day, that when Wizards sends these low supply products to local game stores, we end up with sometimes them being very expensive even at the local game store. Like, I feel like, I don't know, do you think your local game store, let's say it was the Marvel Secret Lair drop. They do the Marvel Secret Lair drop. Storm selling for an absurd amount of money. Storm selling for, I don't know, $200 you can sell a Lair drop for on eBay. Is your LGS going to sell it for $30? Or are they going to sell it for $100 or $200? Like, whatever the eBay prices is. So that would be my only other concern, is I feel like maybe you end up with the prices being super high anyway. I don't know. I know that like margins are so tight at LGSs that I honestly don't blame them for selling at market rate. But if the goal is to get the cards cheaper for players, I don't know if it actually 100% will serve the purpose. Hey, Seth, I think I am as excited about Modern as you are. Playing my Blueback Oculus list tonight. I'm matching up Oculus with a splash of red for Faithless Looting, Archon Persist. Ooh, that sounds super sweet, Paladin. What, Augur of Autumn? Yeah, Modern. How have you been enjoying Oculus in Modern? Oculus has turned out, that's actually our backup deck for Pioneer, not for Modern, but Oculus has turned out to be quite the card. Yeah, I guess Wizards could enforce it that way, right? Like, if it's reported that you're selling them for way too high of a price, we just won't give them to you anymore. Magic Music Store. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Finish him? Is this a finish him? Leyline Axe on the Fervent Champion. Go to combat. So close. Almost lethal. About it. Down to 9. About it. Down to 3. And you better top deck something good. I managed a music store for a while, and guitar companies were pretty strict about MSRP. We would have to say something was blemished or open box to sell it cheaper than MSRP, so Wizards could enforce MSRP. Boombox, could you sell it for more than MSRP? That was kind of that was the other thing I was wondering. So, like, I don't know how that would work with, I don't know how often guitars spike in price. I know old guitars can be incredibly expensive, but I don't know if, like, new guitars go through big price spikes like Magic cards do. But could you sell for more than MSRP if you wanted to? Seth for Commander Clash. I want to see more meme decks based around inside jokes on Commander Clash. For example, I want to see Richard play Mono Green Farseek, Seth play Commandeer Strip Mine, while Krim plays Insurrection. Ooh, iconic memes Commander Clash. That would actually kind of be a fun game. I have no idea what we'd call it. I have no idea what the title would be, but I actually like that idea. Bring back some of the most iconic memes. I don't know, what would you pick for Filler Tomer? So if I'm Commandeer Strip Mine, Richard is Mono Green Farseek, Krim Insurrection. What comes to mind for Filler Tomer? Anything? Yeah, all right. Let's put the Apostle, I think, to the bottom. What MTG references should I sink into my next synthwave album? Oh wait, Stefungi, is your music on the internet? If it is, you should send me a link. I'm very curious. Blood, you gotta go with Bloodmoon. Bloodmoon. Kamimder. Oh, that's actually not that bad. I like the way you think. And I want to subscribe to your newsletter. She stands alone. Oh, Kiki kills. That is a meme, although Tomer would probably just actually kill us if we're all playing Jank and he gets Kiki combo. Oh, Guild of Coons. I forgot about that one. Oh, that was back when Baby Vince was on Commander Clash. That Goldvein Hydra is kind of big. This is a wee bit sketchy. I think we might be losing this one. We might have met our match in the form of a turn 1 Mystic, turn 2 Top Fury Stomper into a big Goldvein Hydra. Donto Vanguard not getting through that. Do you have a favorite basic art besides old border ones on Arena? I personally don't like old borders. So favorite land art on Arena that is not old border? Ooh, I've actually never thought about that. I would have to go look through the lands. Remind me next time we talk, and I will actually try to have an answer for you. I'm actually gonna have to look through the lands and see, because I just default to old border. I could name off like a bunch of old border lands in paper that are my favorites, but I've never actually done what is my favorite on Arena non-old border land. I've never thought about that. The bucket land is cool. Is that on Arena? Or the bucket? That was like OG Zendikar, right? That was Zendikar. That was Zendikar before Arena even existed. Oh, we have to attack, right? But I mean, I think this is just actually over. Haha! Adonto Vanguard gonna get you. Opponent gonna block with the Mystic. Well, we're gonna pay 4. We have no fear of our impending demise. Opponent stays at 22. Got a great henge popping off. Yeah, maybe we should just. All right. So opponents just playing big green things. They're just playing big green things. What do we have that answers big green things? Sheltered by Ghosts is about it. Oh. All right, run it back. Yeah, I think you were correct. Should have cracked the blast zone. Did you see the new? Oh, is there a new Chaos Vault secret lair? I haven't. What is this new lair drop? Oh, is it the land? The strange sand lands? How many do you get? I gotta say, this is the way to do it. If they're gonna do land lair drops, I'm glad they're trying this, because this is something we've talked about for a long time. The biggest problem, they make some cool secret lairs with basic lands, but they usually sell them one of each basic. So you get 5 basics, one of each, for like $40 or $30, depending on foil and non-foil. You just can't build a deck out of that. It would cost an insane amount of money to actually build, to be able to play a deck with it. So I feel like, oh, the sand's actually insane. The sand is so good. Yes, we will keep this. I think we keep the Kellen? No. Shelter by Ghosts. Yeah, we're just going to keep like this. The lands look sweet. I'm glad they're selling them in bundles of 10. That actually makes me interested in buying them. The art... I don't even know what to say about that card, except it reminds me of another infamous promo in Magic's history where you probably just shouldn't think about it too hard, because if you do, it becomes kind of, a little R-rated, a little adult themed, perhaps. The colors are nice. I like the colors. Those are some good colors. I'm not sure about the shape exactly for a Magic card, but I mean, kids game, right? But the art is cool. The swamps look sweet. Actually, they all look sweet. I don't know who the artist is, but man, that is a beautiful, kind of the psychedelic colors in the mountains. I like. I actually like all of these. I'm glad you mentioned these, because I actually might buy some of these. I actually just might buy some of these. I didn't even see that these were for sale, but those actually look really good. Now, play the land, and we're not going to Shelter by Ghost nothing. That seems unwise. So we'll just Bourbon Champion. Get in and hit you. Oh, thank you, Stefungi. Let me pull it up. Blood Moon. Blood Moon, I think, is a good an easy way you can get a Magic reference in there, right? Did you see the Emrakul tattoo? This tattoo's wild. I respect the commitment, but this tattoo, wow. That is, I love Magic. I've pretty much dedicated my life to Magic. I don't know about a life-size, full-body Emrakul tattoo across my stomach and chest. It looks great. But wow, that is some commitment. That is some serious, some serious commitment to the flying spaghetti monster. The tattoo is super well done, though. I've been talking about getting a Magic tattoo. I've been talking about getting a Magic tattoo for a while, and I haven't yet. I still need to get one. I know, I need the Bloodman tattoo to go with my Blood Moon guitar. Opponent, Tameo safekeeping. All right. If you insist, opponent. If you insist on keeping your elf alive, I will send you to the portable hole. And we're getting there one at a time. It is a really cool looking tattoo. It's just so, it's so big. I always, well, yeah, let's get rid of it. Plus we get a little ward. I'm sure opponent can blow it up. They gotta have a bunch of enchantment hate, but get in, hit you. Down to 70. We could use a Leyline X to speed up our clock. Seth, my pay group thought that I should have gotten a Vorpad tattooed on me for how I thought it was a good card. Hey, Vorpede was a good card. I remember, boy, that brings back memories. That was what? Dark Ascension, right? Didn't Vorpede see a little bit of play? That was like the biggest undying creature. Well, let's Thran Power Suit. Put it on the champion. The ward is big, but that doesn't stop our opponent from blowing up the artifacts and enchantments. Get in, edge ya. No. Oh! That was not great. And now we also lose our Fervent Champion? Oh, God. The blowout of blowouts. Oh, should we not have attacked there? How do we not attack there, though? Man, we haven't lost all stream, and we're going to lose to just a random pile of... an incredibly random pile of green cards that no one else plays, but we were just getting, like, timmied to death. We're getting super timid here. This is... I can't believe this is working as well as it is for our opponent, but it is working as well as it is. Those are Augur bottom. Well, we can't beat it. We can't beat it. Their creatures are too big, and they're generating too much value, and they're green, so they get to blow up our stuff. Werewolf Pack Leader. Archer's Charm is a great card. It just doesn't see any play because it's... It doesn't see any play because it's... Well, get rid of the Gargaroth. Doesn't really see any play because it's triple green, but it is very strong. I mean, I guess we got to attack here. We get in for 10. Actually, no. We only get in for 5 thanks to the chump block. About it. How old were you when Moto first came out? Does it make you feel old? Oh, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're not dead. Still not dead. This isn't good, but we're not dead. Found it. Gets in with everything. Draws a card. Down to 4. Oh my God. It's a Lightning Helix. Well, we're going to Leyline Axe. And I guess die because they can flip. Yeah. Well, you can't win them all. Moto does definitely make me... Everything about Magic makes me feel old. I swear to God, when I think of Theros, it feels like it was like 2 years ago. I think of Theros as like a recent set, or like even original Innistrad. It seems I've just been so dedicated to Magic for so long that it seems like yesterday, even though it was like 15 years ago. When you that's what makes me feel old. Is what was the release date of Innistrad? Innistrad released September 30th, 2011. It is now 2025. That means we are very close. Considering Magic is just over 30 years old, we are very close to Innistrad being the midpoint of Magic, if that makes sense. When I think of Innistrad, when you see the whole history of Magic, if this is the start and this is the finish, I think of Innistrad being like up here, like pretty close to current day, when actually it is almost smack dab in the middle, where there's as many sets older as there is newer, which that's what blows my mind, because it feels so recent. Or even Zendikar was 2009. It doesn't seem like 15 years. It doesn't seem like that long has gone by, but it has. But yeah, that's the part that makes me feel old, is just thinking, wow, it's been 15 years since Zendikar came out. I remember how hyped that was. The fetch lands getting completed. That was a thing. We didn't even have all the fetch lands at that point. I wasn't playing until Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, so even though Theros Beyond Death feels a little old, you started a good time. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was a sweet set. Although it does make me a little concerned about vehicles. Have we ever had, so is there any chance vehicles are going to be good? We know we're getting vehicles. Mark Rosewater told us, like, and plus Ether Drift, the whole thing's vehicles and racing. Are vehicles going to be good? If you think about vehicles in Magic, when they first came out, Smuggler's Copter, Hardikiran were really good. Since then, we've had utility vehicles, right? Bankbuster. We've had things like that. They can perform a utility role. But have we had a vehicles deck since Mardu Vehicles back when it was Smuggler's Copter and Heart of Kiran, like right when vehicles first came out? They might have to add more static abilities, and I think we're kind of seeing them doing that, adding more statics and ETBs, even with just like, and I don't think this is the card that's going to do it, because I think it's kind of like a bulky card, but even like Lifecraft Engine, I feel like that's a really good design. It's a vehicle that does something, even when it's not a creature. So you get a static ability, actually multiple static abilities in a weird way. So I feel like more vehicles like that, or self-crewing vehicles, I think this is another neat design. This, again, is more of a limited card, but exile an artifact or creature from a graveyard to turn it into a creature. More ways that vehicles can turn into creatures without being crewed. This seems like kind of the nut draw. I think that's gonna help vehicles as well. Azeka's Chariot's another busted one. Azeka's Chariot, Reckoner, Bankbuster, Hardikiran, Smuggler's Copter. I was thinking more like a vehicles deck. I guess Greasefang is a vehicles deck. We've certainly had utility vehicles that are playable on their own, like standalone. That's what I would consider like Reckoner, Bankbuster, Unlicensors. They're just good cards that happen to be vehicles. But like, do you think we'll have a vehicles deck? Because I remember when Kamigawa came out and like, what are we having? Mech Titan Core. There was a ton of really cool vehicles, and it just didn't quite get there. Oh, all right. Well, we're going to continue to be aggressive. We're going to play a Plains. We're going to play a Fervent Champion. I think our opponent's blue-white control, which is kind of scary, but... Well, I mean, this is a big attack thanks to this Leyline exponent. Down to 14, down to 11. No temporary lockdowns. Pretty please. Opponent. Yield a good. Temporary lockdown. Hooray! Well, let's play this on white. Play the Adanto Vanguard. Pass the turn. Ooh, Batterskull is not a vehicle, but it is an equipment that I could see how it feels slightly vehicle-y. All right, Leyline exit. And here we go. Opponent's going to deduce. And smacked to 7. Smacked to 3. Oh, I really want to beat this control deck. All right, come on, Adanto Vanguard. Opponent's going to sack the Clue in desperation. Oh, Teferi would be annoying. They could Teferi Tuck. And opponent scoops it up. Opponent scoops it up. Yeah, Badger, we actually looked over it earlier in the stream. We did it. The set looks really cool. There's some cool teasers on there. I think I'm most intrigued by, and I don't know how they're going to do this, the cycle of vanilla legends. My brain cannot comprehend how they're going to do that in a way that gets people excited. I'm very interested in those cards because that just seems very, very, very difficult. My God, the ghosts seems very, very difficult to pull off. So I'm very intrigued by that. I'm also intrigued by the 1-mana 13/13 crew for 2 vehicle. Just like how they're going to structure that. Is it going to be a Death Shadow, a Phyrexian Dreadnought? Like, how exactly they make that happen is also very, very intriguing. I don't know. Do we change anything? I assume we're playing against control. I guess we just want to be aggro. I wouldn't mind getting some of the like portable holes out of the deck, but like, is Strict Proctor worth it? Actually, it probably is. It shuts down temporary lockdown. Let's try it. Let's try the prog. Run like that. Yeah, I mean, they might just have to really boost the stats, right? That would be a way you could make vanilla legends. But would that even be exciting? Okay, let's say, here's the thing. Here's why I wonder how they're going to make it exciting. The biggest issue, when I think of legends, I think of Commander, right? Like, how do people typically use legends? They use legends as their commanders. That's the biggest upside of legends in 2025. How do you make a vanilla legend that is also something people want to play as their commander? Because I'm not sure, like, if they printed a 1-mana, if they printed a 1-mana 3/1 or a 3-mana 10/10, I'm still not sure. Would you play that as your commander? Let's say there's a vanilla 3-mana 10/10 that's like a green card. Just pay 3 mana, you get a 10/10. Would it actually be a popular commander? 0 mana would be intriguing. If it's a bunch of like Mem Knights, a Mem Knight for each color, or I guess a Kobolds of Care Keep of each color, I feel like if it was something, we need more Kobolds. but something like that would actually be interesting. Oh, Marrow is known to be sneaky. What if they are double face cards? That actually might be the answer. Because we know Mark Rosewater is fine with being, he doesn't directly lie that I've ever seen in his teaser, but he will word things in a way where you got to think really careful about it and he'll be sneaky about it. It could be that the front side's vanilla and then the backside flips into a non-vanilla something. That actually seems possible. Hey, see you, Lucid. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for showing off the cube cards. Be good. You know what? Something that I think would be interesting that we haven't explored in Magic. I just realized this, like, ever, I don't think. What about flipping being a negative? Like, what about Magic cards that you don't want to flip? Like, the backside is a vanilla 2/2, and the front side's really good. Why? We've never had that before. Have we ever had a negative flip card? Why has Wizards not thought of this yet or executed this yet? We've seen a ton of different, I mean, going back to the original Innistrad, we've seen a ton of cards that are like, the front side is what it is, and the back side's more powerful once you flip. Yeah, I guess you could argue Duskwatch, even though I think it's more just different. Like, the backside and front sides are kind of different. They do different things, but yeah, I think arguably the back of Duskwatch is less powerful than the front. But it's a little weird just because they're not serving the same exact purpose. But what about a mechanic where, like, you don't want your stuff to flip, and instead of actively trying to flip your stuff, you need to avoid flipping your stuff, or maybe your opponent is flipping your stuff? Does sound interesting or fun? Yeah, I guess people really do hate downsides, don't they? About it. Passing. Well, Fervent Champion, an expensive Fervent Champion. I feel like we're off to way too slow of a start for this matchup right now. Well, Fervent Champion. And go attacking. I think downsides are interesting. I think what would it be? D downsideification? D downsideification of Magic is probably, for me, I think it's a negative. Some of the stuff really, it's become more noticeable lately, where it feels like Wizards has tried to remove anything that could potentially be a blowout, even like anything that could kind of even potentially sort of feel bad. I've been noticing this more and more with spells that target. You'll notice that Wizards goes very far out of their way to make sure that there's no way the spells can fizzle. And at first I thought this was just like random like coincidence, or it's just how some cards worked out. But then I've been noticing it more and more. The card that I noticed it on most recently is Kozilek's Command for Modern Horizons 3. If you look at Kozilek's Command, it's definitely worded in a way, target player makes the tokens. You're never going to give your opponent those tokens, right? You are always going to make them, but it's worded target player. Target player scries X and draws a card. You're never going to have your opponent scry and draw, but it's worded target player. Because all of these say target player, there's no like, okay, if your opponent does something in response, it's gonna ruin this and fizzle the spell. The Bloomburrow spells were the other recent example, like Season of Gathering, not actually targeting, so there's no way you can like kill the creature and get a blowout there. So I feel like the DD sound fightification, wow, that is tough to say, of Magic. It's become more and more noticeable for sure. What are your thoughts on what the Ether Spark will be? So Ether Spark, we know it's a Planeswalker equipment. And honestly, I'm not sure what that looks like. There's a lot of space for a static ability. I imagine maybe it only does it only work if it's equipped? Would that even make sense? Would that even be fun? We know this is the headliner of the set, so I imagine it's going to be pushed. It's the serialized card. It's the headliner. I guess we got to go all in here. I don't feel good about it because if they just have a Wrath, our life ends and our day is ruined, but we got to try and kill him. Get in there, Fervent Champions. Hit you. Found it. Down to 14. Found it. Down to 11. All right. Opponent. Memory Deluge. Oh dear. Digging for a Wrath. I don't know. What is your prediction? What is your prediction for the Ether Spark? I don't even know how, it's hard for me to conceptualize how it's even going to work. In practice. Opponent thinking. Passing. Well, let's eat this Memory Deluge. Got the mana, so we might as well. Change the equation. Ooh, we draw the axe. Well, I mean, we got to play it. Leyline axe. Oh, opponent has no more lies. Well, go to combat. Smack ya. And, ooh, a Wandering Emperor. Okay. Opponent. Gonna get the... Oh, they have a temporary lockdown in hand, don't they? Well, we hit you to 9. Hit you to 7. Pass the turn. Oh, if I was a Planeswalker, what would my abilities be? So. Oh, yeah, that's kind of rough. So +1. +1, your opponent's non-basic lands or mountains until their next turn. I think that's step 1. I think we're gonna lose by 1 mana here. Because they have no more lies. Yep. Yeah. We needed 1 more mana, and we would have won by getting rid of the temporary lockdown. As it is, though, I think we're dead. All right, pass the turn. What would the... So it's got to be Blood Moon, negative 2 or negative something. Would have to be copy a permanent you control plus a Panharmonicon. Some sort of Panharmonicon-y. Actually, maybe Panharmonicon's the emblem. Maybe, so either, okay, the ultimate's either some sort of Blood Moon emblem or it's a triple Panharmonicon emblem. We have not gotten a triple Panharmonicon yet. That's one thing we have not gotten. We have not gotten a triple Panharmonicon. What about ultimate and negative whatever emblem? If an ability you control would trigger, it triggers 3 times. That would actually be, you know, they're going to make it. You know, they're going to make a triple Panharmonicon. We haven't gotten there yet, but you know it's going to happen. We've gotten damage triplers, up from damage troublers. Sooner or later, that's going to happen. Ooh, -2 make a mini Siege Rhino. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So +1, some sort of Blood Moon effect. Negative, maybe you make like a 2/2 Siege Rhino, like a Grizzly Bear Siege Rhino, where it's like, you get a 2/2, and when it enters, you gain 2 life. Your opponent loses 2 life, something like that. And then, yeah, we're not gonna win this game. I actually like that idea. Yeah, all right. You did it, silly control deck. I can't believe they haven't done a triple Panharmonicon. Well, I can believe it, but you know what's coming. It wouldn't be too broken, right? Like you just cost it the right amount and it should be fine. Non-legendary planeswalkers could be interesting to sign space. Ooh. So what would the upside be outside of just being able to have both on the multiples on the battlefield? Is that the main upside? All right. Hand's not as great as we were hoping, but I guess we'll try it. Feels like a tricky matchup. I feel like we just want to be super aggro, but I don't know if we have the draw to be as aggro as we need to be. Well, land on white goo. Or maybe there's some sort of way you like... Actually, I think we just play a Danto Vanguard first. Maybe there's some sort of way you can slowly turn your opponent's lands into mountains. Like, what about a planeswalker that's... maybe the plus isn't Blood Moon, but the plus is like, it just turns a non-basic land into a mountain. That would be interesting. Just +1, target non-basic land becomes a mountain forever. Opponent. Siege Bear seems like a cool card. I feel like they could actually print that, like a mini Siege Rhino. Well, let's play the power suit. Put it on the Vanguard. And get in there. I don't think we can attack with the Proctor, right? I think we got to leave the Proctor back. There's too many things that can go wrong if we tap it against a Wandering Emperor deck. Well, hit you down to 13. Pass the turn. Opponent deduces. Is deduce the best non-land for Murders of Karlov Manor? Oh, did I tell you, Chad? I actually did the math. I actually spent an hour of my life researching the most important question in Magic. How do we play around a Wandering Emperor here? Is there any way we can play around a Wandering Emperor? Or do we just have to accept that it's going to ruin our day? We could not attack, but that seems insane. We can put the 3-on power suit on the Proctor, attack with both, so at least we get through some damage. We can load up the Danto Vanguard, leave back the Proctor, and get absolutely hosed. I guess we could stay on defense and just try to Kellen up something. Huh. Yeah, maybe... Yeah, I guess you're right that the ward does protect from the Wandering Emperor. Can we actually attack? I don't know. I'm so worried about attacking here. Do we actually attack here? What other cards do they have? Settle the Wreckage? If we get... I will accept losing to Settle the Wreckage. Let's do it. Get in there. We're going to get in there. All right, opponent. What do you got? Shark Typhoon. All right, that's fine. It doesn't actually kill any of our stuff. If this leads to a Sunfall, then we probably lose because Sunfall is unbeatable. In every format, apparently. Found it down to 11. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. Well, we knew it. We did know it. Well, let's birthright boon. Get a sheltered. Well, yeah, we'll take a Leyline axe. Yeah, this is where it just feels like I don't know how we win from here with this in this matchup. Opponent's got 6 cards. We got 1 card. Supreme Verdict. I also wish Sunfall didn't exist. I kind of hate that card. I've never heard a good argument for why Sunfall should exist. I've heard bad arguments, which almost are not even arguments, which is just people being like, "Well, Control needs good wraths." But then I'm like, well, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about does Control need wraths? Yes, Control does need wraths. We're talking about a specific card, and does the specific card need to exist? I think that after Sunfall rotates, I think Wizard's going to chill with Exile Wraths for a bit. I hope they do. I want there to be powerful Wraths. I do. And I think we even see that we have Day of Judgment in Standard forever. So the baseline is 4 mana blow up everything. It's Wrath of God is our baseline Wrath again, just like it was 30 years ago at the start of Magic. So I want there to be powerful Wraths. I can even see I like Split Up a lot. It's even a cheaper Wrath. I think there should be good Wraths. I just think that one of the lessons that I've taken away from playing with Sunfall for 2.5 years now or whatever it's been is I don't think that Exile Wraths are especially healthy. I think, yes, they have existed throughout Magic's history, and in small doses, I think they can be okay. But if we look at Exile All Creatures, wow, there's 69 cards that Exile All Creatures. That's way more than I would have. All right, hang on. We gotta narrow this down to white. All right, Exile All Creatures. But if you look at Magic's history, really, so Descend Upon the Sinful never really saw play with 6 mana. There's also a Kamigawa one, right? Final Judgment. So I guess, man, actually, it's actually hilariously kind of just a really clear example of power creep. So original Exile Wrath, we go back to Kamigawa, right? Final Judgment, 6 mana Exile All Creatures. That wasn't good enough, didn't see play. So 8 years later, 10 years later, whatever, Descend Upon the Sinful, Exile All Creatures, Descend Upon the Fisherman, Descend Upon the Sinful, Exile All Creatures, but you could get a 4/4 out of it. Still wasn't good enough, didn't see any play. So then Wizards all right, we know that 6 mana and maybe getting a 4/4 is not good enough. What if we do 5 mana Exile All Creatures and you make this huge incubate? I think that's where they maybe crossed the threshold there of just going a little bit too far. So maybe the answer is exile everything Wraths, exile, not even everything, exile all creature Wraths. Maybe they just need to be 6 mana. Maybe 5 mana is just a little bit too cheap for an Exile Wrath. So I think maybe that's the lesson. So I do think Wizards will learn from it. I really do. Mother Frogger, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super, thank you. Yeah, what do you think about Wraths that win the game? I feel like, so actually, chat, do you know, do we still rotate this summer? Or do we rotate a year from now? Hey, Anklezor, I believe so. I'm still trying to get the final details down, but I am planning on being in Chicago. I'd love to do some Dan-nanning or paupering. You might have to borrow me a pauper deck. Actually, they're doing the Upstate New York Pauper Championship or something, the first ever in a couple months, and it's there's never Magic tournaments that are within an hour of me, not bigger ones at least. So I might actually go play this Pauper tournament just because it's close. But I'd have to get a deck. I'd have to find a Pauper deck. Yeah, I wonder. So do you think with Sunfall, assuming you think that it's problematic, and just so it's clear, because whenever we talk about this stuff, I feel like I want to clarify because I don't want it to come out the wrong way. I don't think Sunfall should be banned at this point. I think Sunfall, we just got to ride it out and then learn from it in the future. I don't know if the problem's more making the incubate or exiling. I would lean towards exiling. Oh, double axe fervent champion is kind of insane. I would lean towards exiling being the thing that I'm most scared of. Chicago's gonna be my first con. Hey, awesome! The Oriental God. Yeah, they're super fun. What are you planning on playing? Are you like jamming Commander? Are you playing the Pro Tour? Playing 60 card formats? Magic cons are always a blast. I have never went to a Magic con and not had a good time. Don't. Oh my god. It's Lightning Helix. Well, maybe this deck is not as good. I don't know. We started off beating everyone, and now we're losing to everyone, and I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think about this deck. Is it great? Is it horrible? Now I really don't know. Oh, it's a great place for playing Commander. If you catch me when I'm not in a game, I'd love to jam one with you. But yeah, there's always tons of Commandering going on. Well, Kellen the Fayblooded. It might just be the control is not a matchup our deck can actually reasonably beat. Bone Crusher Giant. I'm going to try to drive to Chicago. It's only like 3 hours for me, plus I could take a trade. That's not bad. 3 hours isn't too bad. Have you ever thought about playing pre-modern? So the challenge I run into with like pre-modern in other formats like that is just not having people locally in paper to play with. And they're not formats that are especially easy to play online. Like you can if you can find someone else and play like freeform or whatever. So there are ways that you can like, wow, okay, wait, this might give us hope. So we can equip a Leyline X for free. We can equip a Leyline X for free. We can play a Thran Power Suit. We can also equip that for free. We go to combat. Smack you just a little off the top. Down to 5. Sacred Foundry. Okay. Our hopes and dreams rest with this fervent champion. Save us, Javier Dominguez. You can do it. Found it. Discards a Spell Pierce. Discards a Aven Interrupter. Gonna go to combat. Gonna make a treasure. If we get Sunfalled. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just die. Just die, opponent. It's okay. It's okay. We did a lot of work for this. Double Leyline X about it. Bounces the Thran Power Suit. Oh, is this bounce and then Lightning Helix so they can kill it? Is this an adventure deck? Opponent passes. Oh, that's... Well, all right, let's play Sigardazade. If this resolves, we should be good. This is their window where they can kill the Fervent Champion. Potentially. Wow, they scooped it. Idea for Commander Clash. Each member chooses an evergreen keyword. Flying Ace, Vigilance, etc. Every creature in the deck must either have or grant that ability. Hey, what's up, Jedinator? How are you? I don't think we've ever done that before. I don't think we've ever done that. That's a good one. I'm gonna add that to the list. Hey, what's up, Bleezy? How are you? What are your thoughts on the Spotlight Series controversy over the weekend? I mean, for me, it's pretty simple. You tap the land or you scoop. Like, so I will say, I can't judge anyone's intent. We talked about this earlier. I think I might be in Atlanta too, dog. Hopefully. I don't have solid plans. It's too far in the future for me to have solid plans for, but I am thinking about doing Atlanta too. So hopefully we'll catch up at some point this year. So I would say I can't judge anyone's intent. I can't say this person cheated or didn't cheat because cheating requires intent, and I don't even know. Like, it wasn't even on camera, so there's no way I can know if it's a mistake or someone's cheated. All I do know is, and I think this is what I said on Twitter, and this is what I say about, and this is what I actually like, kind of live by, even outside of Magic, is like, when it comes down to it, I'd rather have people view me as a good person who loses a game of Magic than a scummy person who wins a game of Magic. So for me personally, if I got to choose between those two things, I'm going to choose to take the L and like do what I think is the right thing, then take the win and feel bad about it. I would feel bad about it. Like, so I think it's basically just that. Hey, what's up, Stone Rain? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Another idea for Commander class: you must play only creatures of a certain type, but you can't play any sort of tribal payoffs. Ooh. So like non-tribal tribal? This deck might need more on the sideboard for control. Was the ruling done by the head judge or head judge of the event? It was not the head judge. I brought the case to the head judge, as I don't think the ruling was correct. So the ruling was actually appealed to the head judge. So it was the judge and then appealed to the head judge, who ruled the same thing. They both ruled the same thing. What happened in regard to the call? All right, so the short version of this, if you haven't heard it before, basically the game's coming to an end. It's game 3. The match is nearing an end. One player's playing Esper Pixie, the other's on Gruul. Not that it really matters in the scenario, but one player's playing Esper Pixie. The Esper Pixie player has 6 mana. They play a Hopeless Nightmare to hit their opponent down to 4, and they say, okay, I'm going to pass the turn, and on your upkeep, I'm going to scroll shift to blink the Hopeless Nightmare. In response to that, the other player's like, all right, I'm going to cast my Questing Druid to impulse draw 2 cards, and that's when the spectators stop the table and say, wait a minute, the Esper Pixie player didn't tap a land for their Hopeless Nightmare. So they should have 1 less mana than they have access to. That is what happened. No one's debating that the land didn't get tapped when it should have been tapped. So that's what the judge's call was over. The first judge ruled couldn't do anything about it, basically, because cards had been drawn off the Questing Druid, so you couldn't rewind the game. So the player wouldn't need to tap the land. The head judge confirmed that ruling. It advanced too far. We're not going to make you tap the land. So the player had exactly enough mana because of the land that didn't get tapped, that should have been tapped, to cast another scroll shift, which won them the game on the spot. So basically, they would have been 1 mana short of winning and lose on the backswing. Instead, they had exactly enough mana to win and ended up winning the game. And then the controversy, I believe the ruling is correct. I believe is counterintuitive as it is. According to the rule book, I believe it is actually the correct ruling. I guess the reason, according to the rule book, is that hidden information was revealed. So you can't make people unsee the cards that were drawn off the Questing Beast. So because of that, the rule book says you can't just rewind. I don't know why you can't just be like, tap the land. Like, I guess that would be rewinding, because it seems like just such an intuitive solution, right? Like playing at the kitchen table with your brother when you were 8 years old, or playing Commander with your friends. I think like almost all play groups would come to that solution where you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, man, I made a mistake, tap the land. But the controversial part was, what do you do in that situation? Like, the judge call was controversial, even though I think by the current rule book, I think it's correct. But it's like, should the player have conceded? Should they proceeded to win the game using the free extra mana that shouldn't have been available. Was that correct? Should they have conceded? Should they have tapped the land? Do you take the win? That's what a lot of the conversation is around. And I guess it depends on the person. One thing I've learned is that the way I view Magic, and I guess maybe life, is just different than how some other people do. Because there's been cases, I remember, like, I don't know if you remember Esper Charm Target Me being a big controversial thing. I think we should update the rules. I don't know the best way to do it, but the rule intuitively seems incorrect. It seems incorrect for me. I don't know how to change it to really make it better, though. Man, these control decks are tough matchups for our deck. I really realize this. I remember the Esper Charm target me thing. To me, that reads just like such a obvious example of rules lawyering. Like trying to use someone's like saying the wrong word against them. The way I play Magic, I wouldn't even cross my mind to be like, oh, I should call a judge and try to get a win out of this. But I actually had a long conversation with Cedric at one point, who was the player in the situation. And from his perspective, it wasn't even a little bit of rules lawyering. Like, it wasn't even rules lawyering at all. I confirmed it multiple times with the player. They said the same thing every time. I gave them multiple chances to say something different. And they kept saying, target me. They're the ones that are playing it wrong, essentially. Like, yeah, sure, obviously, I knew what they were trying to do, but we're playing a game. There's rules to the game. And if you want to play competitively, you should say the right words to the game. And that's when I still that's not how my brain works. But that conversation is what made me realize that the way I view things is different than how some pro players view things and just other people in general view things. So I can see why people might disagree. Even though for me, like, I scoop 100% of the time. They're like, it's not even up for debate. Am I scooping there? I'm definitely tapping the land or scooping or whatever. Like, I'd rather sleep at night. But then when I say that, I'd rather be able to sleep at night than win a game of Magic. If you're on the other side of things and viewing things the other way, the greatness at any cost, I don't know. Isn't there like a Ayn Rand argument? You'd be like, well, what's actually ethical is to do what's best for yourself, and that's actually what is best, is you should just be totally doing what's gonna be selfishness is actually ethical. Like, so there's people that have that's not how I view the world, but there's people who that's their worldview. And I guess from that perspective, you're not thinking, oh, it's a choice between do I sleep at night or win a game of Magic, because you're sleeping at night anyway, because you don't think you're doing anything wrong if that's how you view things. What is the first pro player I've ever beaten? Well, so one of the upsides of playing on Magic Online, I also would prefer to win without technicalities. It doesn't feel, it's not satisfying. It's not satisfying for me. It's the same reason, like, if I mentioned this before, if I play a good game with someone on Magic Online and it comes down to, like, I know I'm going to lose, but my opponent's like going to run out of clock, 30 seconds before they actually get the finish because they're comboing or something, I'm going to scoop. I'm going to scoop. If they're like playing too slow, then that's a problem they should be dealing with. But if it's just like a good normal game and my opponent's like doing the best they can and they're going to win except they're 30 seconds short, I think I'm just going to scoop. Usually what I do in that scenario is scoop there, because I don't think that, like, I don't know. Oh man, I'm an idiot. I am a big idiot. Oh God, I'm too excited about our talking. I forgot to equip our Leyline X. I was going to say, yeah. So one of the upsides of playing on Magic Online is you randomly play against a lot of pro players. Just because everyone, boy, oh boy. You know what? We're going to pretend that one didn't happen. So one of the upsides, should we try? Yeah, we'll play this deck a couple more times because I gotta go do the basketball game here in like 15-20 minutes. But one of the upsides of Magic Online is you do get to play against pros randomly. Like, you'll be in a cube draft and you're up against LSV, or you're playing a modern league and you're up against Reed Duke. So I definitely have played against those type of people quite a bit, just randomly, sometimes without even realizing it. I think the one I remember most, though, was the first Team Modern Super League, where that was right after Jace got unbanned. That was actually when I believe that was the first time I put my face on camera. That was like the big face reveal. So I did the Team Modern Super League, and we were losing. We were down, we were 3-1 or something. We were 1-3. We were kind of getting crushed. Or we weren't winning at least. But anyway, had to play Sam Black, Mark Severa and basically three like platinum pro, top level pros playing Blue White Miracles right after Jace got unbanned, and ended up winning all three in a row and like taking it down. So I think that was the time I remember most as someone who doesn't play a lot of like real tournaments of actually just like beating some pro players. And that was cool too because it wasn't even like necessarily a good matchup. Some of the matchups were pretty. It was like Sam Black playing Lantern, which was like the Sam Black deck that he was the master of. And Sam is just like such an amazing player. But so it was pretty sweet. Yeah, my little brother plays at Louisville for college. It's his last year, and they're playing in Syracuse tonight, which is the first time in his 6 years of playing college basketball that his team has actually come to play a game in New York. So I don't know. I think there's like 400 people from around here going or something. So it's kind of like a little celebration homecoming type thing where all the family is going, all of the friends are going. So everyone's going to see his game, get some dinner type of thing. Oh, you were there live, Stone Rain? Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was still a fond memory even now, having played so much Magic. That's one that I think you can still find the VOD. The opposing team is Syracuse, and Syracuse kind of sucks this year. The worst part, I don't know if anyone's ever been to the Dome in Syracuse, the Carrier Dome, which I guess is now has a different name. Oh, it's a miserable place to get to. It is a rough. Syracuse is not good with traffic, and it's the dome's like on the top of a hill, and it's just like I'm not looking forward to getting to the game, but it'll be cool. Have you heard the rumor that the mystery universe of Beyonce is Avatar: The Last Airbender? I am convinced that is true. I am fully convinced that is actually the last set. It's everything just lines up. Like the arena thing, them having a relationship with Nickelodeon, everything added together. I am fully convinced that it is going to be that. Hey, thanks, Stone Rain. Yeah, he's just worked his way up. He started Niagara, actually. He went to Niagara. He played at like a tiny little like homeschool school league when he was in high school. So even though he crushed it, like no one paid any attention. So he like managed to get his way to Niagara University. And he went there for like a year. Then he transferred to Detroit, which was a step up for 2 years. And then he ended up at BYU, which was another step up for 2 years. And now this is last year, and ended up at Louisville for his last year. We were talking about those islands. They are. I mean, I need them to play in my promo Serum Visions deck. I might actually, man. Okay, chat. I don't even know if we should do this. That's probably a horrible idea. What if? Okay. Oh man, it would be such a good video. What? Let's say you want to make an X-rated Magic deck, not with real like, you know what I'm saying? Not like proxies or Etsy or something like that, or like anything like that, but just like, let's say you want to make the most adult Magic deck with innuendos of existing Magic cards. What else is on? What else do you add to that list, right? Like what else? So you got the new island, you got the Serum Visions promo. What else? If we're gonna try to make this deck, oh, I know. Armada Worm is kind of a classic. Boy, it looks even worse blown up that way. Armada Worm is kind of a classic. I remember that one. Oh yeah, Utabi orangutan. Little the story of Kibo, the birth story of Kibo. Staff of Domination. Oh, that's pretty good. That's good. Clergy and Vag. Faith Shield is hammered out by the blows. Did no one read this card and look at the art before they printed it? Did no one read this? Face shield is hammered out by the blows of the unbelief. Need some. I mean, yeah. So some deep analysis here, thanks to its nickname, Earthbind. Is Earthbind? Earthbind didn't get banned, right? Earthbind wasn't banned. It was one of the cards when they did 30th anniversary edition. They wouldn't expansion. I might actually have to make this deck now just because it would be funny. I made a 420 meme deck forever ago, and it was pretty funny and people liked it, and it was just all stupid meme 420 references. I think the most adult Magic deck or something that actually would be kind of hilarious. Now I actually kind of want to actually do this for real. Oh yes, name sticker goblin. Gotta have the name sticker goblin. That one's especially funny to me because Tomer didn't know the mind goblin meme, and actually with a straight face. I thought he was joking at first, but actually with a straight face. If you go back and look on Tomer's Twitter, you will find a tweet that says something to the extent of like, "What's a mind goblin? Why do people keep saying mind goblin?" And he just had no idea. He had no idea what it was, and actually tweeted his puzzlement. I forgot about that one. That one was good. The Arena Esports deck. That was I think it's my favorite monologue from Commander Clash for sure. Oh, Gwendolyn, the Grixis legend who's seducing. I think it's Gwendolyn de Courcy, right? Is it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's actually. Yeah, that's seducing someone for sure. They don't really print cards like that anymore, do they? We're kind of falling behind this time. Well, Possible Purifying Light. Wear that Thran Power suit. Hello, Lukey. How are you? Found it down to 17. I remember there was a big controversy about the art of Keeper of the Mind. Oh. I kind of remember this now, too. I think, did this art get edited? I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, that this is like cropped. In the original version was not cropped, and you saw more like down where the text is, and it was a little suggestive or something, and they ended up cropping it. I think, maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that is the story, is something to do with the art needed to be cropped to make it safe to print. Well, let's play a Adonto Vanguard. Now you got to do the classic, every Shockland is a reference to female anatomy meme. The seductive go. We gotta, I mean, that's an easy one, right? Because we can just play, we can play the goat land in the mana base, and then we get to play the token. So that's kind of a freebie, since we can play a land that plays it. But yes, we definitely need to have a seductive goat token. That's essential. Oh god, the Cyclops. I remember that from that showed up in our iceberg video. Yeah, that one really blows my mind. I do not know. I mean, I guess it's just the early days of Magic, but I mean, I guess it's a Magic card, so I guess, I don't know, I guess don't avert your eyes. But this one, honestly, I do not understand how this one actually, how did that see print? Everything about it is so wrong. How did they approve this art? Who drew this? Robert Bliss. Robert. I don't know what the art direction was. I don't know who's in charge of this. I just do not understand how that card ever actually got printed. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, now we're probably gonna get banned from Twitch for looking at Magic cards. There was, well, so we were talking cat, also hello Cat Cam fan. So we're looking at the new secret lair drops because someone pointed out that there's new secret lair drops. So we're looking at the new secret lair drops, and one of the islands kind of caught people's attention because it looks a little bit adult themed, and that led to a conversation about if we're gonna make a like an X-rated Magic deck or like an adult Magic deck, what cards would be in the deck, and then we ended up with the Kundu Cyclops somehow. So welcome, Cat Cam fan. Good to see you. Yeah, we're done. We made it. We got to a 99 month resubscriber, and then they printed the dang secret lair island, and it all came crashing down. So actually, it's Wizards' fault, right? Thanks, Wizards. Thanks, Wizards. Yeah, I'm not Googling that. I feel like if we're looking at Magic cards, it can't be that bad, right? As long as we're looking at actual Magic cards, but I'm definitely not Googling any Magic related art. No. That is not happening. What do we want with this Kellen? Our opponent's pretty good at not playing anything for us to... I guess we just take a Leyline Axe, get some damage through this Sylvan Caryatid. I actually really love that I really love that they're selling 10 packs of the islands. Oh, nothing, those lands all look super sweet. Some people just view it suggestively, I guess. I don't know. I honestly didn't think anything of it until people start talking about it. I was like, yeah, I guess I see what you're talking about. So censorship from the unset is a bottom half of Keeper of the Mind. Oh my god, wow, you might be right. I kind of miss unsets where Wizards would make fun of themselves and like their mistakes from the past. I feel like we've moved away from that. Like we get tons of meme cards. I would not recommend going to look it up, but hey, do what you got to do, but don't do it on my account, please. Please. This conversation is snowballed. Ember Mage Goblin has in foil has uncensored art. I thought the colors were cool, Cat Cam fan. The colors, they just look neat. Actually, I really like all those islands. I don't buy secret lair drops. As a general rule, I'm not a secret lair drop buyer, but I might buy those because I really appreciate them giving us 10 of them. Like that's a huge deal. Actually, like that means you could buy 1 or 2 and actually have enough to like build a deck. So I might actually have to pick up some of those lands. What do you got about it? Sylvan Caryatid in. Oh no. All right. Well, yeah, that's I guess the reason not to portable hole that nowhere to one. Ay. So what do we see about this deck? I feel like this deck struggles against control decks. Like when we're not playing against control, the deck actually feels pretty good. But when we run into control, it goes bad pretty quick. Like if our opponent's deck is just a pile of removal and sweepers, we don't have enough haste, enough ward, enough something to really fight through it. That's kind of the issue. Well, let's see if we can do something here. Let's play the power suit. I mean, are any of you buying the new secret lairs? Like, does the way they're printing them, getting 10 in a pack rather than one of each color, like, has that been enough, like, to get you to buy them? I actually, for the first, well, I don't want to say for the first time, but I actually really just hope this secret lair drop succeeds, because I would love Wizards to get the message that this is the best way to sell basic land secret lair drops. If anything, you could be even more generous. Like, I know Wizards got to get their money, but I don't know, 20? If it was 20 lands, I would be thrilled. If I could get 20 lands, that's enough that I could realistically... oh yeah, and nowhere to run. Yeah, we're getting blown out in every possible way. Could realistically buy one bundle and build a whole commander deck out of it. I think that would be the sweet spot. This is a huge improvement, but you still probably need 2. Maybe if you're playing like a 3-color deck, you could get 1 of each color and then your non-basics. But still, that's like, what, $100 for basics for a single commander deck? You'd have to really want to bling out that deck. I think 20 would be the sweet spot. 20 basics for $30. I would very much, I would buy a lot of secret lairs if it was 20 basics for $30. That's still a high price for basic lands, but I think it would be worth it if I could get 20. At 10, yeah, sorta, maybe. I'm definitely think it's a huge improvement, but it's still a little bit light to really build a full deck out of it. I won't buy secret lairs till I go back to print to demand. Did you see their announcement? Oh, is this the combo? There's a janky combo. We haven't played it. With Lumra and Portalajara and Splunking, which maybe we got to play it sometime, because when it goes off, it's actually pretty sweet. More is always better. That is true. I mean, that's the biggest reason to play no basics is I can bling out my basics with like 1 card. Super easy. I need 1 of each. I can play whatever I want. Yeah, Lumra, a little big, no creatures. As someone whose only secret lair drop purchase was a full art foil, can we change? Actually, maybe we need rips. Maybe we want rest in peace. Go down a couple portable holes. Having nowhere to run is kind of awkward. I guess, yeah, let's bring in the strict proctors too. Let's try the proctors. Maybe let's try something like that. Really want the Year of the Dragon Mountain, but those are so expensive. You know what I really want in paper is the old arena promo lands, but those are insanely expensive. Hey, what's up, Reindeering? How are you for this 7th month? Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Oh, that's the hand. That's the hand we want to see. Big soup for you. Thank you. Land, Fervent Champion. Okay, let's steal this and go out on top. We can do it. Leyline Axe on the Fervent Champion on turn 1. Smack ya down to 16. That is a very aggro start. Hitting for 4 on turn 1. Opponent Forest and Arboreal Blazer. Not going to be quite good enough here, though. I don't think. I hope. Opponent. New sub animation. Yeah. No, that's just a I don't know, Cat Cam fan. So this is the 2nd stream I've had since I got a new computer over the holidays. Last stream, the art was right, but the sound effect was wrong. And then I thought I got it fixed, but now the sound effect's right, but the art's wrong. So it's a bug that I'll get taken care of. It's not supposed to be like that. But I'll get it figured out eventually. Opponent down to 12. Well, play the land. Play a Strict Proctor. Opponent's going to know where to run just to shrink the Fervent Champion. Well, we'll play a Fervent Champion. This lets our opponent live for the turn, but they need something real good. Opponent down to 8, down to 6. And this is it. This is a game. Can our opponent stop our Fervent Champions? And the answer appears to be no. Yeah, I don't know why it switched. I don't know why it switched to the Streamlabs art. Oh, also, one other question while I'm setting up the Streamlabs stuff again. What do you think of with the donation, the auto voice reading it? Do you like that or do you don't like that? I thought it would actually be kind of fun. To have the robot voice read out the donations, but I don't know if people like that more or not. Ditch Streamlabs to Stream Elements. Oh, you're actually probably, I'm sure you're correct. I'm just used to Streamlabs because I've used it for a long time, but it's probably going to be better. Hey, Seth, I was inspired by your video of Stone Rain Productions' Carnosaur Combo Brew, and now the Imitating Recruiter is a need for haste. Push, pull as you reanimate Carnosaur to. Ooh, I forgot about this deck. That is a big upgrade. Yeah, push pull is like absolutely perfect. Ooh, maybe we gotta try this one again. Was there a voice reading? It only reads when there's a donation. We only had one today. There was one donation and it has like the robotic voice. Yeah, that's why no one's gonna be able to. That's why no one's gonna be able to AI me, because no AI is gonna be able to mispronounce words like I am. So you never got to worry about that. Oh, see, I don't really know anything about the horribleness of Streamlabs, but I'll have to look into it. I didn't know anything about that, but I appreciate the heads up. Anyway, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. I know it's an early stream, but like I said, I gotta head out early today, go get dinner, go to this basketball game. The good news is we will be back next week with one more early, well, maybe two more, but another early stream, because it is Ether Drift spoiler time. So plan on early stream again next week, because we're gonna have spoilers starting at noon, I believe. So stream, play some Magic, watch the spoilers together, do the spoiler video. So I know, I'm sorry for changing the schedule, but this is like a once every 5 years type of thing that comes up. So gotta do it. It should be fun. Reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube as we invite all the old streams. Normal YouTube, tons of stuff coming up. Tomorrow we are playing, what are we playing for Against the Odds tomorrow? I feel like we're playing, I think standard. Maybe it's standard. I don't even remember, but I've made so many videos lately. It's again Against Odds, so I know that. Anyway, a reminder, their sponsor is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtdgoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. I love y'all. You're amazing and spectacular. I hope you have a great day, a great week. I'll see you next Tuesday for another one in some spoilers. Until then, everyone, be good, and I will talk to you soon.